Welcome to Fantasy Audiobook, Hokage, Annihilation of Everything. Chapter 81. It is extremely risky to sneak into the Hokage building. If you are not careful, you may be surrounded by many cloud shinobi. What Luo Chuan uses is to use earth-style ninjutsu to sneak into the underground and soften the surrounding land, and the floors and ceilings can also be softened. However, whenever action is needed, he must emerge from the ground so that he can get what he needs. Luo Chuan carefully lurked outside the Hokage office door without disturbing any cloud shinobi. Luo Chuan held his breath and rolled his eyes to observe the situation inside. There is no one in Hokage's office at the moment, not even Anbu's ninjas. This is an excellent opportunity. Under the Byakugan, as long as there is chakra flowing, it cannot escape the observation of these eyes. He entered without hesitation. There was no mechanism set up in this office, so there was no need to worry about being discovered by the enemy. The Hokage office is very simple. Apart from a huge desk, there are very few other facilities, but there is a black bookcase that is eye-catching. When I came to the bookcase, I carefully checked whether there was any mechanism. After confirming that there was no danger, I opened the bookcase. There are a large number of files placed in this bookcase, some of which are information, some are books, some are rosters, etc., and there are many types. I picked up one of the files and looked at it. It recorded some strange people and strange things, but nothing else. I searched in this bookcase for half an hour and checked a lot of files. Some of the information was quite valuable, so I kept it in my mind. Finally, he found a dossier on nintaijutsu. This was a scroll that recorded the principles of nintaijutsu by Cloud Shinobi in detail. At the end of the scroll, there was also a record of Hokage's nintaijutsu. The introduction to Hokage's nintaijutsu is relatively simple, but it can be seen between the lines that if you want to practice Hokage's nintaijutsu, it places great demands on your own body. Not to mention anything else, you must at least be able to withstand the impact of the thunder attribute chakra. Only with strong resistance to impact can you practice. Judging from the current physical condition, Mian should be able to learn some. This was a very valuable thing, and Luo Chuan did not hesitate to put the scroll away and turn it into his own private property. Finally, I searched for some information in this bookcase. Hokage may not necessarily leave a large amount of information in the bookcase, but may store it in other rooms and manage it by dedicated personnel. However, some of the information stored here must be the information that Hokage has been paying close attention to recently, and it may involve all aspects. From this information, we can see what Hokage is planning to do recently and whether he has any plans. Unexpectedly, this glance really made him see something, some extremely valuable information. I didn't expect Hokage to have such a purpose. How can you succeed? What was recorded in this information was a previous secret operation in Cloud Shinobi Village, which was to sneak into Konoha and kidnap Kushina. According to the intelligence, the ninjas of Cloud Shinobi Village failed. However, Hokage is still preparing to continue letting people perform this task, because the Eight Tails Jinchuriki is in some trouble at the moment. Eight Tails is difficult to control, and there is a faint tendency to go berserk in Jinchuriki's body. Jinchuriki Barubi always has difficulty controlling Eight Tails, and he cannot perfectly control Xiaofeng with his power. It is for this reason, and after learning about Kushina's special physique, Cloud Shinobi Village chose to venture into Konoha and would not give up until it achieved its goal. HMPH, I'm afraid you are miscalculating. Kushina is not so easily kidnapped now. There was a trace of murderous intent in Luo Chuan's eyes. Although Kushina is now protected by the Hyuga clan, there will be no problem, but Cloud Shinobi Village's covetousness still makes people feel uneasy. Fortunately, Kushina should undergo a tailed beast transplant in the near future and officially become Nine Tails Jinchuriki. At that time, not only the ninjas of the Hyuga clan will be guarding, but also many Konoha Anbu will be guarding at all times, so there will be no problems. Hiding the murderous intention, Luo Chuan continued to look for other information, kept it in his mind, and analyzed other things about Hokage. After searching for a long time, the appearance of several pieces of information made him feel a little uncomfortable. Hokage and the daimyo of Thunder Country have been in close contact recently, and the daimyo of Thunder Country allocated huge sums of money to Cloud Shinobi Village with unknown intentions. Cloud Shinobi Village is in close contact with Takumi no Kuni and seems to be cooperating. Cloud Shinobi Village pays close attention to the black market and constantly collects information on the black market. Furthermore, a large number of ninja tools are stored in the Cloud Shinobi Village warehouse, and they are brought in from underground channels without removal of materials. There would be no problem if this information was taken apart. However, now that several pieces of information appeared in the bookcase at the same time and were placed in the same place, Luo Chuan had to think about something. Eager to control Eight Tails, the daimyo allocated funds, had close contacts with the craftsman country, paid attention to the black market, and had a large number of ninja tools. Combined with some recent events in the ninja world, Luo Chuan seemed to have a guess in his mind, but this guess made him unsure and he did not dare to draw a conclusion. If you guessed it correctly, Cloud Shinobi Village must be preparing for that event. However, in my memory, Cloud Shinobi Village only participated in the incident at the end, but why are they so proactive now? Vaguely feeling that something was wrong, Luo Chuan took a deep breath, wrote down the information, and then put the information back in its place. After investigating the contents of the bookcase and putting away some scrolls, Luo Chuan quietly sneaked out of the Raikage building and continued to lurk underground. An infiltration operation was completed silently, and the intelligence was collected without disturbing any Cloud Shinobi. However, just as he was secretly rejoicing, suddenly the voices of several ninjas came from the ground. There, up, boom, the ground above was suddenly shattered. Luo Chuan was a little surprised. What happened? Could it be that he was discovered? Bang bang bang. The continuous impacts caused the ground to tremble and break. The Jonin on the ground continued to attack one place. The huge force released was even difficult for the surrounding buildings to withstand, and they all shattered and fell to the ground. Such a terrifying situation happened above Luo Chuan's head, and his instinct told him that he had been discovered at this moment. He escaped again and headed straight outside Cloud Shinobi Village. However, the Cloud Shinobi behind him seemed to know his actions and quickly chased after him, constantly attacking the ground. The actions of several ninjas attracted the attention of other people, and a large number of ninjas rushed out from the surrounding buildings, asking about the situation. "Come out quickly, you despicable intruder!" Cloud Shinobi roared, and then saw countless thunder and lightning spreading from the ground, eroding underground in an instant. 503. When thunder and lightning struck, Luo Chuan didn't care about anything else and broke through the ground directly. The moment he returned to the ground, a large number of ninjas rushed towards his position and quickly surrounded him. "Who are you? Tell me honestly, otherwise you will suffer a lot later." Several Cloud Shinobi looked at Luo Chuan and shouted curses, while Luo Chuan remained silent. In desperation, he failed to use the transformation technique to disguise himself. Now that these Cloud Shinobi saw his appearance, he was in huge trouble. He quickly thought about countermeasures in his mind. Now he was not in the mood to pay attention to these Cloud Shinobi. The top priority was to find a suitable excuse to make Cloud Shinobi suffer a loss. Seeing Luo Chuan's silence, several Cloud Shinobi around him looked at each other and rushed over immediately. The enemy rushed towards him, and Luo Chuan reacted quickly, taking the gentle fist stance and shouting, "Gentle fist method 8 trigrams 128 palms." The 8 trigrams field was formed, and several unprepared ninjas entered the 8 trigrams field. Then they saw palm shadows flying all over the sky. Luo Chuan's body had turned into an afterimage, and he continued to attack these ninjas who rushed over. Without the budget, Luo Chuan also used physical skills. These ninjas were hit unprepared, and the major acupoints on their bodies were immediately sealed, making chakra unable to be used smoothly. Boom! Several ninjas fell to the ground, screaming in pain. Luo Chuan acted quickly and dealt with several ninjas at once, which the other Cloud Shinobi did not expect. How could a kid have such power? Are you sure they weren't dazzled? The facts are right in front of them, and they can't find a suitable reason to get rid of the facts in front of them. More than a dozen ninjas surrounded him. It was not an easy task to break free from the siege of these ninjas. It was extremely difficult. Still maintaining the gentle fist method, Luo Chuan carefully guarded Cloud Shinobi in front of him and said, "How did you find me?" "Of course I am aware of your presence. This is not difficult." A Cloud Shinobi explained it simply, and he must have thought that Luo Chuan could not escape. A perceptual ninja. He actually missed this point. It seems that my preparations were not cautious enough. Luo Chuan was secretly annoyed that he had left out this important sentient ninja. It was indeed a huge mistake. Sensing ninjas have concentrated types. One is the five senses of the body, the other is chakra perception and intuition. The perceptive ninjas in Cloud Shinobi Village should be chakra aware. The common problem of perceptive ninjas is that their combat effectiveness is not high, but their perception of chakra is extremely fine and has a wide range. For example, the second Hokage Senju Tobarama has extremely strong perception and can even sense chakra thousands of miles away, which is very terrifying. Such terrifying abilities make perceptive ninjas become precious war resources. They can perform large-scale enemy detection techniques and can easily discover the enemy's location. Unless you have a special ability to hide the chakra, it will be difficult to avoid the detection of sentient ninjas. Now the omission of the existence of sentient ninja has become Luo Chuan's major mistake in this operation. Without hesitation, several more ninjas rushed towards him, but they did not rush forward, but chose to move in circles while constantly throwing out kunai and shurikens. The strange scene just now still remains in their hearts, so naturally they will not be so stupid as to choose to attack D. Luo Chuan kept dodging the attacks of the ninja tools. The countless ninja tools put him in danger. If it weren't for his physical fitness and quick reaction ability, he might have been hit long ago. Wandering between the ninja tools and avoiding the attacks of those ninja tools with just a hair's breadth can be said to be full of dangers. After attacking continuously for several minutes, Luo Chuan looked a little dangerous, but in fact these ninja tools failed to hit him, which made the Cloud Shinobi feel depressed. "Get out of the way, I'll do it." A Jonin came to the scene and shouted, and the Cloud Shinobi immediately dispersed. Lightning style hyphenation point ground walk. Jonin's hands glowed with blue-white lightning. The lightning entered the ground and spread quickly, and the direction was Luo Chuan. The lightning attack was very fast, so Luo Chuan chose to dodge, and there was no benefit in fighting the lightning. Use the body flicker technique to avoid it again, and quickly run out of the village. There are too many ninjas here, and it is not cost-effective to fight so many ninjas. Now he only has the power of Jonin. If he gets first blood after level up, he can only fight elite Jonin. If a quasi-shadow strongman appears, he will definitely be in trouble. Especially here there is a cage-level strongman like Hokage who is almost heaven-defying. When encountering such a strong man, there is currently no suitable way except running away. However, when he ran away, those ninjas quickly pursued him, and more ninjas rushed out from the surrounding houses, cutting off his escape path. 100 ninjas, 100 ninjas surrounded him. Don't make any omissions in your next plan, otherwise it will be difficult to avoid the scene in front of you. Although there were many enemies, he believed that all the ninjas here could not stop him. Whenever necessary, dust can be avoided directly. If you haven't used it now, you just don't want to expose your ability too early. What's going on? It's so noisy. Who dares to come to Cloud Shinobi Village and act wild? A rough voice came. The sound was like thunder, giving people a depressing feeling. After hearing this man's words, all the Cloud Shinobi took the initiative to withdraw and make way for them. A man came over. He was dark-skinned and slightly older. He had a thunder tattoo on his right arm, a hemp rope tied around his waist, his muscles were bulging, and there was a lightning-shaped scar on his chest. Third-generation movie. I'm really afraid of whatever comes next. Luo Chuan felt a little bitter in his heart. Now that these figures have come out, I am afraid that the matter will not be solved so easily. The visitor is Cloud Shinobi Village 3rd Hokage, who is physically strong enough to be able to fight a tailed beast hand-to-hand, which shows how terrifying his power is. 3rd Hokage walked in front of Cloud Shinobi, looked at Luo Chuan, but frowned deeply. Is this the kid attacking the village? A rough voice sounded, and a ninja beside him quickly told what happened just now, which made Hokage frown even more. How can a little kid take down several village ninjas? Are you too fragile or is he too evil? Anyone would feel this way. This is just a child who looks less than 10 years old. How could he be so powerful? This is simply impossible. However, this kind of thing is actually happening now, which makes him feel a little crazy. Kid, tell me your identity and your purpose. Do you need to know that much? Luo Chuan didn't want to reveal his name, but 3rd Hokage snorted, with blazing eyes, isn't he just a brat from the Hyuga clan of Konoha? I already know you, Why hide it anymore, Hyuga Luo Chuan? As soon as the name came out, Luo Chuan's heart skipped a beat, his body trembled, and he looked at the other person in disbelief. How could this third Raikage know where he came from? How could he know his identity, and how could he know his name? This is incredible, I can't understand how this could happen. Raikage seemed to appreciate the other person's eyes, and laughed and said, "You genius of the Hyuga clan, don't think so much, just stay here and I will treat you as a distinguished guest. But if you want to resist, don't blame me. You're welcome, I'm sorry." Even the title of genius came out. Luo Chuan couldn't figure out which link was the problem. He thought about it rapidly in his mind, but he still couldn't figure it out after all. It is absolutely impossible to stay in Cloud Shinobi Village. Who knows what the purpose of these people is? But one thing is for sure, Raikage will not kill him, at least not now. You can avoid it if you stay. Thank you third Raikage for your kindness. Thank you. Lightning style Black Panther. Black thunder and lightning suddenly shot up from third Raikage's body, forming the shape of a leopard and flying rapidly towards Luo Chuan. Black lightning, the lightning style developed by third Raikage, can send out a black lightning attack, which is more powerful than the ordinary lightning style, but requires more chakra. Currently, he is the only one who can use it, and its power is extraordinary. The moment the black lightning appeared, Luo Chuan immediately used the body replacement technique to directly deflect the Black Panther's attack. Boom! The black leopard pounced on the ground, instantly shattering the ground to pieces, but the leopard did not disappear, but continued to rush towards Luo Chuan's position. Stop! I will deal with him personally, no one is allowed to participate in the war. Seeing that other ninjas wanted to take action, third Raikage quickly stopped these ninjas. This genius of the Hyuga clan was the talent that Konoha Danzo exchanged for 3 pairs of white eyes. He could not be killed by mistake. The ninjas stopped one after another. Although they had a lot of doubts about Raikage's decision, they still followed the movie's orders perfectly. Luo Chuan kept dodging the black leopard's attacks. Although this ninjutsu was AB level ninjutsu, if he was hit, the consequences would be disastrous. The characteristics of thunder and lightning are very confusing. The paralysis and sluggish effect of the body is the most fatal in battle. Wind style wind cut technique. In desperation, Luo Chuan could only use wind style to restrain lightning style. After the technique was completed, the black leopard that kept charging towards him was suddenly split into 2 by a wind blade, turning into scattered lightning and gradually disappearing. Third Raikage's brows jumped when he saw this scene. This kid actually destroyed his lightning style. Or did he use wind style? What a smart kid. The black leopard was destroyed and Luo Chuan did not choose to attack. Facing Lei Yin, defense was the best choice. His actions made the other Cloud Shinobi want to laugh. How could they even think about struggling in front of Lord Raikage? What a ridiculous behavior. The power of Raikage has long been deeply rooted in the hearts of the people. Not everyone can resist the powerful lightning style, especially a kid, which is even more impossible. Seeing Luo Chuan stop, Raikage chose to attack directly, but instead of using the long-range lightning-style attack, he directly rushed over using pure physical trap. Seeing this, Luo Chuan was also aroused to be competitive. Raikage is so confident, even if he is not as strong as others, he can't be stage-frightened. He decisively uses gentle fist to fight against the opponent, and he is also very good at boxing and kicking. However, after fighting Raikage for a while, he felt a little powerless. Raikage's body was too strong, and strength was huge, which was not at the same level as his small arms and legs. When he was facing each other head-on, every punch made his arm feel numb. It seems that your physical fitness must continue to improve, otherwise it will be difficult to carry out a battle of this level, unless the ninjutsu is so strong that you can ignore the opponent's awareness. Secretly setting a direction in his heart, Luo Chuan continued to fight with the opponent, but he no longer faced the opponent head-on. Instead, he used techniques, such as using 4 or 2 to move 1,000 pounds and using force to take off the opponent's strength and feed it back to the opponent. In fact, Raikage was quite shocked. He originally thought that he could defeat such a brat with 3 punches and 2 kicks using physical skills, but now that he saw the opponent fighting steadily and in an orderly manner, he was also depressed. Is it because his physical skills have declined? It's impossible. How can this kid have such strong physical skills? He has completely surpassed many ninjas in the village. There were many ninjas in Cloud Shinobi Village who were famous for their taijutsu, whose taijutsu was surpassed by Luo Chuan. This was something he didn't want to believe, but it was the truth. Raikage gradually increased the intensity of his attacks, and even started to use lightning-style chakra to attack. The third Raikage's ninjutsu is definitely the strongest among the strongest, with few opponents in the world. Especially his lightning-style chakra mode, which concentrates lightning-style chakra on the whole body, thus covering the whole body with lightning, which can greatly improve the physical defense ability. It can also use the thunder body flicker technique. With the increase of lightning-style chakra, the defense and the speed will also increase, so it is called the strongest shield. At this moment, Raikage's whole body was covered with blue-white lightning, with electric arcs surrounding his body. The thunder and lightning seemed to distort the space, releasing unparalleled power. Each punch, palm, and kick carries a large amount of lightning, and the attack speed is also greatly improved, especially the thunder body flicker technique, which is even faster than the ultimate. The body flicker technique is not different from the ordinary body flicker technique, but it produces the same effect as the body flicker technique when the speed reaches ultimate. Luo Chuan, who was fighting against him, felt tremendous pressure, and the surrounding Cloud Shinobi cheered. At this moment, they no longer think of this as a battle, but as a lesson from Raikage, teaching them how to use nintaijutsu. It's like a grand event, full of expectations. Luo Chuan is under a lot of psychological pressure. As third Raikage's lightning-style chakra becomes more and more fierce, he almost cannot resist it and engages in such close combat with the opponent. That is undoubtedly self-destruction. Gentle Fist Method 8 trigrams 128 palms. Forced to have no choice, Luo Chuan used this trick again, his speed increased instantly, and the shadows of his palms poured down like raindrops. The third Raikage knew the usefulness of the Gentle Fist method of the Hyuga clan, so naturally he would not resist this move forcefully. Instead, he retreated. With a flash of lightning, Luo Chuan's palms were all hit, but it was just one. It's just an afterimage left behind by lightning. Although he failed to hit his opponent, this move still bought him enough space. At this moment, there is no need to fight at close range. He should give full play to his advantages. Third Raikage did not attack again, but waiting for the opponent to use ninjutsu. In the competition of physical skills, he occupies the absolute top, and now in the competition of ninjutsu, he has absolute confidence to crush the opponent. Lightning-style Black Panther. Using his self-created Black Thunder again, the Black Thunder and Lightning Leopard rushed out, its ferocious mouth opened, and its sharp fangs were extremely eye-catching. Chen escape return. The hands turned into a triangular state, and dots of white light appeared between the hands. A transparent square barrier flew out, covering the Black Leopard. The leopard shrouded in the barrier kept attacking the barrier. The barrier was filled with black lightning, but the leopard could not break through the barrier yet and was melting rapidly. In just a few seconds, all the black lightning in the barrier turned into nothingness. Third Raikage's body was shaken and he was stunned. Unlocking his ninjutsu in such a weird way. How could such a guy exist? Wait, this ninjutsu seems a bit familiar, as if I have seen it before somewhere. Sensing that this ninjutsu was somewhat familiar, Third Raikage thought to himself, but the other Cloud Shinobi didn't understand, and were dumbfounded, watching the transparent barrier disappear, and they couldn't react yet. It would be easier to accept if Raikage's ninjutsu was destroyed with great fanfare, but this silent disappearance makes it hard for them to believe. A feeling of terror emerged in their hearts. This was a state that was difficult to understand, and a ninjutsu that was difficult to understand. After successfully destroying the opponent's ninjutsu, Luo Chuan felt happy. It seemed that he had a great chance. If he used this dust escape well, he would not be afraid of Raikage's Black Thunder. At this moment, Luo Chuan used the dust release ninjutsu again, and another square barrier appeared, and this time the target was Raikage's body. The transparent barrier enveloped Raikage almost instantly. Cloud Shinobi who saw this scene reacted and shouted, "Raikage-sama, be careful. Asshole, you dared to do such a thing to our Raikage-sama, it's unforgivable." Luo Chuan automatically ignored these people's words and stared at the third-generation movie. Raikage, who was shrouded in the barrier, came back to his senses, and his expression suddenly changed, because the thunder and lightning around him were gradually disappearing, which meant that his Raiden chakra mode was gradually disappearing. Hell thrust 4 pen hands. Lightning-style chakra condensed with his fingertips and then thrust forward, hitting the edge of the barrier and causing the barrier to shake. Sanbin Guansho. The 4 fingers turned into 3, and he stabbed forward again, causing the barrier to shake even more violently, and even the slightest crack appeared. It was concluded that the crack appeared for the first time, and it was caused by the third Raikage's attack. He couldn't help but sigh that the power of this Raikage was indeed powerful. Third Raikage's Hongan hand is very powerful. It concentrates the lightning-style chakra on the fingertips and stabs the opponent. It initially uses 4 fingers to attack. As the number of fingers decreases, its attack power will increase. When it becomes a Hongan hand, it has the strongest attack power and can easily pierce most hard objects, so it is called the strongest spear. Urban Guansho. If Sanbon Guansho attacks again, it is very likely that he will directly destroy the dust escape barrier, but at this moment, it is too late, and the lightning-style chakra mode is disappearing. Raikage resolutely used the powerful Nibbon Kansho, instantly destroying the dust escape barrier, and headed straight towards Luo Chuan without losing any momentum. Luo Chuan had been prepared for a long time, and he was enveloped by another dust escape, but Wang Chenjiao was directly shattered. A scary movie, really powerful. Luo Chuan secretly thought in his mind, and turned to body flicker technique to avoid the opponent's attack, making his second hand lose the target of attack. The target disappeared. Raikage stopped, turned around and looked. Luo Chuan was about 10 meters behind him. Kid, you are very powerful. There are not many people in Cloud Shinobi Village who can compare with you. You are indeed a genius from the Hyuga clan and worthy of me using more powerful power. Raikage sincerely admired, but Luo Chuan was not so relaxed. Now Raikage is about to go crazy. He must find a way to resolve the crisis at hand, and he also needs a grand reason, otherwise the Hyuga clan will face huge pressure from Cloud Shinobi Village and Konoha. The third Raikage's ninjutsu is the pinnacle of ninjutsu, and there are few rivals in the ninja world. Most of the ninjas who fought with him died under his nintaijutsu, and even more had their fighting consciousness destroyed. Speed, strength, and defense are all improved under laden chakra mode. The speed and attack power he showed at this moment made Luo Chuan feel troublesome. Both dust escape barriers were destroyed by his original hand. What other moves can he use to fight against them? The onlookers Cloud Shinobi cheered, and the power Raikage showed made them surrender and made them even more proud. This is Raikage from Cloud Shinobi Village, a man who stands at the top of the ninja world. After a battle until now, this place is not far from the entrance of the village, and there are many buildings around it, but the buildings at this moment have already been destroyed in the battle between the two. Song is left with only broken walls. Young brat from the Hyuga clan, you are indeed a talent. It's better to stay here obediently. This will save you a lot of pain. You know, this is Cloud Shinobi Village. Raikage spoke earnestly, as if an elder was persuading a younger generation. However, Luo Chuan knew very well that if he stayed, the time he could see the light would be very limited. Stop talking nonsense and let's fight. After Luo Chuan finished speaking, he formed the seal again, Ren Dun Tu Long Qian. Sharp rock guns suddenly popped out from under the ground, and they kept appearing around Raikage. The sharp rock gun is like a call from hell, intending to end people's lives. However, Raikage was not afraid of these rock guns at all. With his powerful body, he fired out fists one after another, and the rock guns were shattered by him. It seems that you are ready to continue to resist. Then I will wait and teach you a lesson. Raikage laughed loudly. Lightning-style chakra mode appeared again, and the speed suddenly increased. When the fist hit, cracks almost appeared in the space, and a state of distortion appeared under the fist. Third Raikage, so terrifying. Luo Chuan seemed to have a lot of pressure to resist, and now he was attacked from close range. This Raikage planned to use this method to make him surrender and make him fall completely. However, he will not be defeated easily. If you want to defeat him, you have to kill him. Otherwise, he will never bow to the enemy. 8 trigrams palms double AJFD revolving heaven. At this moment, the only thing that can withstand Raikage's stormy attack is this most direct and absolute defense. Silks of chakra spurt out from all the major acupuncture points in the body, like a train, blooming with endless chakra light, and the dark streets are reflected. Be transparent. The blue chakra turned into a circular shield. The violently rotating chakra stirred the air, and the violent whirlwind kept blowing everything nearby, seeming to tear the air apart. Double layers of revolving heaven. 2 layers of revolving heaven constitute an absolute defense. The movie's lightning-carrying fist hit the wall of revolving heaven. Suddenly, the wildly dancing and high-speed rotating chakra continuously impacted his fist, weakening him layer by layer with lightning and causing him to collapse. Cloud Shinobi's eyes trembled. He is so strong and has such a strong defense. He can even resist Raikage-sama's fist. Boom! Raikage's fist was bounced away by chakra, and there were even traces of fine wounds on his fist, and blood kept dripping down. Raikage, who was rarely injured, regretted it for a moment, but he was actually injured by a kid's defense. This was simply a shame and humiliation. Raikage was irritable and angry. Ah! With a roar, Raikage rushed towards the violent double revolving heaven again and stabbed it with his right hand. Hell thrust 4 pen hands. The dazzling chakra turned into thunder and lightning at the fingertips, completely covering his right hand, breaking through the interference of the strong wind and coming to the front of the double revolving heaven, and stabbed the right-hand wolf. Boom! 4 fingers fell down, and the force of the attack allowed his fingers to penetrate a little deeper into the chakra shield, but it was difficult to get even an inch. Sanbin Guansho. The 4 fingers turned into 3 and continued to attack. The power of the 3 fingers became more powerful and the power was more concentrated. However, these 3 weeks were unable to break through Shuangtian's defense. Nippon Kansho. Another second-hand sword that can destroy the dust escape barrier. However, this time the second hand was not successful. When 2 fingers were stabbed into the double revolving heaven, the defense encountered an iron wall and could not break through this absolute defense in the first time. Asshole, you still have such strength. A flash of determination flashed in Raikage's eyes. Chakra suddenly erupted, and shouted, Ippokusho. The strongest attack, the strongest spear. With 1 finger, the power is concentrated on 1 point, and the attack power is extraordinary. This time, double revolving heaven encountered huge trouble. Under Ichigo's hand, that finger was as easy as breaking through paper, and suddenly shattered the double-layer defense of double revolving heaven. Boom! The chakra shield collapsed, and the dazzling blue chakra flew around, denting the entire ground in an instant, even destroying all buildings within 100 meters. Luo Chuan's continuously rotating body stopped, and he instinctively used a ninjutsu. Chen escape returned to the realm. Using dust release again, the square barrier instantly enveloped Raikage's body, giving him a pause. Luo Chuan took advantage of this opportunity and quickly jumped to the right, avoiding the opponent's attack route. Dust escape was destroyed again, and the film's Japanese opponents were invincible. Once again losing his target, Raikage stood up straight, turned around and looked at Luo Chuan, sneering again and again. Luo Chuan was a little ashamed. Raikage's chakra was huge, but his chakra was not that much. How much chakra is there at Jonin level? That's very limiting. Even if he can fight elite Jonin with the blood successor limit and blood successor elimination, he can't compete with Raikage. After all, this is a real cage level strongman, and he is also an extremely tough cage level strongman. It is already a miracle to be able to start such a fierce battle with Raikage at this moment. The situation is very bad and extremely dangerous at this moment. However, when his eyes inadvertently glanced towards the outside of the village, the sudden appearance of a behemoth made his eyes light up, and Zanchong seemed to have a slight turn for the better. Raikage, die! Luo Chuan was overjoyed when he saw those things appearing outside the village, and he quickly formed seals with his hands at a dizzying speed. Raikage narrowed his eyes. What other skills could this kid use? The surrounding Cloud Shinobi also have some expectations, but they have absolute trust in Raikage. No one can defeat Raikage, not even other cage-level experts, not to mention a brat. In the end, this kid must be killed by Raikage without any surprise. But, is it really that simple? Amid the expectations of Raikage and all the Cloud Shinobi, Luo Chuan's ninjutsu has been completed. Water-style Water Dragon Bomb Technique. Water Dragon Bomb Technique. The attack power of this ninjutsu is okay, but is it effective against Raikage? Obviously, that is impossible. Water is conductive, and Raikage's lightning-style ninjutsu can easily be attacked by water-style Luo Chuan. Just when there was a bit of disdain and ridicule in Raikage's eyes, a huge water dragon formed. However, this was not attacking Raikage, but headed towards the outside of the village. Raikage didn't know why, and watched the water dragon leave Cloud Shinobi village, but soon his pupils suddenly shrank, and he couldn't help but tremble. He also saw the huge thing outside the village and saw the pair of fluorescent eyes, which were particularly conspicuous in the dark night. It was a huge cat demon, with blazing flames burning on its body, various strange lines on its body, and two huge tails wagging behind it. Two tails, because of the two tails of one of the sky-tailed beasts. The appearance of such a tailed beast outside the village really caught Raikage off guard. He was so immersed in the battle with Luo Chuan just now that he didn't even see the tailed beast appear. Even the other Cloud Shinobi are like this. The second tail is watching them from outside the village, seeming to be observing something. Boom! The huge water dragon crossed the distance and hit the observing Erwei. The huge impact caused Erwei's body to fall backwards, knocking down many boulders at once. The huge body of the second tail is at least 10 or 20 meters tall. The body looks strong, the limbs are full of explosive power, and the ferocious and sharp fangs reflect the cold light. Being knocked to the ground at this moment, the second tail was angry. One of the 9 great-tailed beasts, it was actually hit by a human using ninjutsu. This was an insult to it. Erwei roared angrily, and the flames on his body burned more fiercely, as if to burn the earth and sky. The angry tailed beast is extremely terrifying. The evil-tailed beast chakra filled the Cloud Shinobi village, causing countless Cloud Shinobi to swallow their saliva and look at the roaring cat demon in the sky in horror. The power of the tailed beast is imprinted in everyone's heart, and the ability of the tailed beast scares everyone. Luo Chuan smiled secretly. The second tail Matabi, the angrier it is now, the more favorable the situation is for him. The angry tailed beast would not care if anyone attacked it. Song Jin just destroyed all the humans in front of him. The image of the two-tailed Matabi is a huge cat demon, and the other tailed beasts are 9 parts of the chakra separated from the body of 10 tails by the sage of 6 paths in ancient times. Its strength is very terrifying. Now it is furious and will definitely attack Cloud Shinobi village. Sure enough, a huge fireball condensed in the mouth of the furious tailed beast, flying towards Cloud Shinobi village amidst the panic on the faces of all the ninjas. Boom! The fireball, which was several meters in diameter, expanded after leaving the mouth. It suddenly expanded to a diameter of more than 10 meters and bombarded the ninjas who were going to the hidden village. Fire raged, chakra rioted. A huge fireball killed dozens of ninjas and dented the earth. The violent flames were also unleashing their power, turning dozens of meters into a sea of fire. The surviving ninjas screamed in surprise, but quickly formed a defense line and rushed towards Erwei. Lightning-style ninjutsu seems to be very good, but their strength is too low to pose any threat to the second tail. They can only stimulate it and arouse its animal nature. The second tail, who was attacked by the ninja, became even more angry. He sprayed out huge fireballs one after another from his mouth, and even sprayed out some huge wind attribute chakra balls, which rapidly expanded the sea of fire and even shattered the ninja's body. This situation is what Luo Chuan is most happy to see, but Raikage hates it and grits his teeth. You brat from the Hyuga clan, how dare you do such a thing, I won't forgive you easily. Raikage roared and rushed towards Luo Chuan quickly. The lightning-style chakra mode erupted, and the thunder body flicker technique was also used. The lightning flashed and his body appeared in front of Luo Chuan. So fast. Luo Chuan was surprised that the speed of this Raikage was so fast that it was really difficult to see clearly. Boom! Relying on intuition, he punched forward. This punch contained chakra thread, an attack move belonging to the Hyuga clan. Raikage's fist collided with him, and in the center of the collision, the chakra flashed with endless brilliance, and the circular chakra wave spread, cutting 10 chasms into the ground. Luo Chuan's body was pushed back by the impact. He twisted in midair and threw out several shurikens. Raikage quickly avoided the shuriken attack and continued towards Luo Chuan. If you don't save your people, haha, a lot of people might die. Luo Chuan said these words when Raikage rushed over. Raikage's body suddenly stopped and his eyes wandered. He gritted his teeth one last time and rushed straight towards Erwei. He has the power to suppress the tailed beasts, and now he can only solve these two tails. But when he rushed over, Luo Chuan rushed directly to the Cloud Shinobi and raised the butcher knife in his hand without mercy. The kunai directly cut Cloud Shinobi's throat, and blood spattered, and each ninja fell into a pool of blood. Hokage, who was fighting her way, didn't notice this. At this moment, he exploded with his true power, and countless thunder and lightning wrapped around his body, like a god of war. The space seemed to be trembling and whining. Under his tyrannical chakra, even the huge two tails were a little afraid of the fourth. The strongest Hokage, this is not a title that can be obtained easily. In the ferocious attack of the third Hokage, the black lightning and the powerful Raiden chakra mode continued to cause trouble for the second tail, causing the second tail to retreat step by step. Perhaps the power of the third Hokage is powerful, but the dignity of the tailed beast cannot be desecrated. After being forced back a little, Orway roared angrily, opened his mouth and spit out several huge fireballs. Fireballs with a diameter of more than 10 meters flew towards him. Hokage sneered. The thunder and lightning on his body continued to surround him, and he rushed directly into one of the fireballs. Boom! The moment it rushed in, the entire fireball exploded and turned into scattered flames scattered everywhere, burning the last value. Other Cloud Shinobi are still assisting Hokage, and various lightning-style ninjutsu are constantly being used. 7-7. They were unable to use nintaijutsu to pose a threat to the second tail like Hokage. Under the condition of ensuring safety, they could only choose long-distance lightning-style attacks. A mere tailed beast also wants to destroy Cloud Shinobi Village. Just in time, let's take this opportunity for you to make some contributions to Cloud Shinobi Village. Hokage smiled wildly, his fierce aura was revealed, and his laughter was so heroic that it soared into the sky. Jinchuriki has always been what Hokage wants, even to the point of letting people sneak into Konoha to kidnap Kushina. Now that this tailed beast appears, he can completely control the tailed beast first, and then find a suitable Jinchuriki to seal the tailed beast. In this way, the power of Cloud Shinobi Village will increase rapidly and it will have more say in the entire ninja world. However, it is not an easy task to subdue the tailed beast. Seeing that something was wrong, the second tail realized that the power of the human in front of him was beyond imagination, and he rushed directly from the other side, spitting out several fireballs and windballs at the same time. Hokage. Hokage was busy deciphering Orway's attack, giving Orway an opportunity to take advantage of him, and he rushed directly into the village. Entering Cloud Shinobi Village, Orway felt as if he was in an uninhabited land. He ran rampant in the village and stepped down with his huge souls. The ninja's body was like a broken persimmon, with blood flowing across the ground. Huge footprints were trampled on the ground. Flames spurted out, and no one could withstand the raging fireball. The moment it landed on the body, everything around him was annihilated. You can only see how destructive the tailed beast is after watching it at such a close distance. It is indeed a weapon of war. Even though I had fought against three tails before, it was in a lake and I didn't have a very intuitive understanding of it. Now in this Cloud Shinobi village, a large number of buildings were destroyed, and a large number of ninjas were trampled like ants. Only then could he clearly feel how amazing the destructive power of the tailed beasts was. The importance of Jinchuriki was also revealed at this time. If there can be one Jinchuriki in a ninja village, then when the war breaks out, Jinchuriki will inevitably become the main firepower output surpassing countless ninjas. The operation to kill Cloud Shinobi is still in progress. At this moment, Cloud Shinobi is paying attention to the tailed beasts, so where can he have time to pay attention to his child? Therefore, the beheading operation went extremely smoothly. By the time someone noticed something strange, hundreds of ninjas had died under Luo Chuan's kunai, and his body was even stained red with blood. It was as if he had transformed into a demon from sheer hell. After resisting Orway's attack, Hokage saw the destruction caused by Orway in the village. He was furious, but suddenly he saw the young figure flashing across the village, and then saw the people who were cut off. Hokage, the throat ninja, was so angry that the three zombie gods jumped, and they were caught at this time. This kid had planned this scene since he saw Orway, using Orway to attract his attention so that he would have no time to fight with him. I thought this was an opportunity for him to escape, but I didn't expect that he would stay in the village so arrogantly and blatantly attack his people. Kid, you are looking for death. Hokage gave up the second tail and rushed directly towards Luo Chuan. When Luo Chuan saw Hokage coming, his heart skipped a beat, his eyes rolled, and he quickly rushed towards the other Cloud Shinobi, continuing to massacre the Cloud Shinobi here. The battle now is speed. As long as his speed is fast enough and as long as the body flicker technique can be used continuously, Hokage will not be able to catch him in the first time. And when the time comes, the two tails will definitely cause serious damage, forcing Hokage to have to continue to contain. Luo Chuan's wishful thinking made a bang, but Hokage was so angry that he almost vomited blood. I never thought that I would be played like this by a kid. Maybe he is not the strongest movie, but the most depressing movie in history. Why do you want to attack my village? Hokage was so angry that he asked one after another, furious. Luo Chuan suddenly thought of a reason at this time, an honest reason. When Hokage approached, he sneered and said lightly, "Have you forgotten what Cloud Shinobi village did before? Uzumaki Kushina, you should know, right? Ha, yours the purpose is very suspicious, he actually dared to attack her, do you want to start a war between Konoha and the hidden village?" What? Hokage was stunned when he was told about this. How could he know? Didn't he already disguise it before? Could it be said that Konoha has already investigated it? His words made him feel cold in his heart. If Konoha really came to cause trouble, it would be an extremely painful thing, and he didn't know what price he would pay. Seeing that this reason was valid, Luo Chuan strengthened it and said, "Do you think you can succeed? Then let me tell you, all Cloud Shinobi who enter Konoha, whether they are disguised as Sand Shinobi or Rock Shinobi, are all in Wood of Ye's gaze." Ha ha ha, Hokage, movie, your wishful thinking has come to nothing. Just when he finished speaking, a terrifying chakra suddenly appeared in the village, a terrifying chakra that was shocking. What happened? Luo Chuan's expression changed, and he became even more depressed when he turned around to look. Preparing Tailed Beast Bomb. The second Tailed Matabi has begun to condense its Tailed Beast Bomb. A black-tailed beast bomb quickly formed in its mouth and sprayed towards the movie building. After watching the movie, his face turned purple, and chakra burst out and chased the tailed beast bomb. Boom! With a loud noise, the tailed beast bomb exploded before Hokage, black light shot into the sky, and a storm swept through the entire village. Raging tailed beast bomb, evil chakra. The majestic chakra caused horrific damage to all the surrounding ninjas. The towering Hokage office building has been destroyed, leaving only a bottomless pit on the site. Buildings near the office building arrived one after another, and crack-like cracks appeared on the ground, spreading densely over hundreds of meters. All Cloud Shinobi within this range were unable to resist the power of the tailed beast bomb and were torn apart in the storm. Hokage's physical fitness is extremely strong. In the explosion, he released a large amount of lightning-style chakra to protect his body, which was able to avoid fatal threats. Although he was thankful that he didn't suffer much damage, the scene in front of him made him want to burst into tears. Countless Cloud Shinobi were killed in this outbreak. The ninjas near the office building are all Shizune ninjas, the elites responsible for guarding the office building. A large part of them are strong men from Anbu. However, now these ninjas are in the second they could not survive the tailed beast bomb. The power of the tailed beast bomb completely tore their bodies into pieces, and no remains could be found. This is the elite of the village, the elite of Cloud Shinobi village. Hokage roared again and again, and under Raiden chakra mode, the raging thunder and lightning rose into the sky, and blue chakra continuously poured out from the body. Erwei, who had caused such a terrifying power, laughed loudly and uttered human words, "Humble human beings, please repent for having taken action against me." Luo Chuan smiled secretly when he saw it. Suddenly, his expression changed and became extremely ugly. A problem has arisen at this time. Did this power really absorb too much? There was a faint tendency of a force in his body to explode. That force seemed to be resisting, constantly impacting his meridians, trying to break out of his body. This power was brought over from the Kingdom of Water, and it belongs to the Taketori clan. The power of Dead Bone Pulse. The huge power of Dead Bone Pulse is constantly rushing through the body. Luo Chuan's body was red from holding back, as if he was bleeding. Good chance. Several Cloud Shinobi who saw his strange behavior realized that an opportunity had come, and now they had a chance to eliminate the culprit. Several ninjas rushed over, but when they reached a range of 3 meters from Luo Chuan's body, a domineering chakra suddenly surged out from Luo Chuan's body. These chakras shot out like bullets, killing these few in an instant. The ninja's body was shattered. Ah! Luo Chuan roared, and the blue chakra emitted endless divine light, turning into a beam of light and soaring upward. That brat! Raikage's eyes widened when he saw this scene. Why is this kid's chakra so huge? There's no way this is a kid's chakra. More and more cloud shinobi surrounded Luo Chuan's body, as if they were going to drown him, but he turned a blind eye to these cloud shinobi, and the power in his body could no longer be suppressed at this moment. When he consumed a large amount of chakra, this power actually wanted to take the opportunity to escape from his control, and even wanted to destroy his body. The Taketori clan, this power can no longer be retained. Luo Chuan snorted, jumped up suddenly, and shouted, Raikage, this is a gift to Cloud Shinobi Village, accept it. Dust escape, everything is gone. As he finished speaking, a mysterious energy swayed from his body. With his body as the center, it quickly expanded to 360 degrees in all directions. This force spread hundreds of meters in an instant, and finally stopped at 1,000 meters. Cloud Shinobi who was present suddenly felt a strange feeling, as if something in his body was being lost. This force did not affect Raikage. When he saw Luo Chuan leaping into the sky, he instinctively sensed the danger and shouted, evacuate immediately. Just when he finished these words, everything within a kilometer range centered on Luo Chuan's body was shattering and decomposing. The trees continued to break and turned into powder, and the ninja's chakra also dissipated strangely. Even the ninja's body was constantly decomposing, his clothes were constantly decomposing, the buildings were constantly decomposing, and everything was decomposing. This mysterious force decomposes everything within a kilometer with a devastating force, so fast that people cannot react or dodge. In the blink of an eye, everything within this kilometer area disappeared into nothingness, leaving only a bottomless pit and Luo Chuan in the sky. Earth-style light heavy rock technique. I added a ninjutsu to myself and kept my body balanced in the air to ensure that I would not fall into the abyss. What a terrifying power! The effect of this technique is so terrifying, but it's all thanks to the help of that power. Luo Chuan was secretly surprised that the skills developed by Chen Dun were indeed very powerful. The dead bone pulse power of the Taketori clan just now was constantly impacting his body. Seeing that it could no longer be stopped, he simply used this power to activate the ninjutsu of all forms and nothingness. Unexpectedly, it would have such an effect. What a terrifying effect this is. I am afraid that there are not many such weird ninjutsu in the ninja world. And Raikage there was dumbfounded, looking at the abyss in front of him, his thinking had solidified and sluggish at this moment. The same goes for other ninjas. Some fell to the ground, some stood still, and some were trembling. The eyes of the second-tailed Matabi looking at Luo Chuan were also full of fear. These ninjas couldn't see it, but they knew very well that the ninjas within the range just now not only lost their lives, but even their souls were destroyed. Tailed beasts cannot die in legend, they can be resurrected in other ways. However, if the soul is destroyed, then they will truly die. Undoubtedly, this kid has the power to completely destroy tailed beasts. What a terrifying kid. Asshole, I'll kill you. Raikage came back to his senses and was so furious that he jumped into the air. I'm sorry, I can't play with you anymore. I'll say goodbye. Dust escape split sky mirror. Dust escape mirror turn. Both hands acted at the same time, maintaining two different seals. The time and space channel instantly absorbed his body, allowing Raikage to descend into the air. Hyuga Luo Chuan, Hyuga Luo Chuan. Raikage felt filled with regret. If he had killed Luo Chuan from the beginning, he wouldn't have ended up in the current situation. If we didn't send people to Konoha to kidnap Uzumaki Kushina, we wouldn't have provoked this murderous god to come here. There is a cycle of cause and effect, and it is he who suffers heavy losses in the end. In this battle, a large number of ninja casualties were caused, and Cloud Shinobi Village suffered a lot of losses. The losses of elite ninjas were the most distressing, many of them being Raikage's personal guards. Furious, he slashed at the second tail. Now only the second tail could let him vent his hatred. At that moment, Raikage burst out with surging chakra, attacking Urwei continuously. Under this extreme anger, Urwei was unable to resist and had the idea of escape one after another. Luo Chuan left Cloud Shinobi Village and the Kingdom of Thunder. Today's Kingdom of Thunder is too dangerous for him. If Raikage leads his troops to pursue him, he won't have much chance of escaping. The move just now was due to the dead bone pulse power of the Taketori clan. Otherwise, judging from Tien's current power, it would not have had such an effect. Improving strength is the way to go. Only when the strength is increased can the terrifying power be unleashed. After using dust escape one after another, he finally evacuated the Kingdom of Thunder safely and came to a small neutral country. He found a high mountain and hid. The meridians were damaged, but also expanded a lot. Now continue practicing to repair the meridians and restore the chakra. Hiding in the deep mountains and old forests, he is naturally not very clear about the outside world. A few days after the incident, the news of the attack on Cloud Shinobi Village spread throughout the Kingdom of Thunder, and there was a faint intention to continue to spread the news. Although Hokage issued a hush-hush order, some people still saw the situation in Cloud Shinobi Village, especially the bottomless pit, which was even more conspicuous. Under the questioning of interested people and the information from some informants, what happened in Cloud Shinobi Village spread quickly and continued to spread. Tailed beasts attacking the village, and the Hyuga clan's imps attacking the village, these are extremely shocking things. If the tailed beasts' attack on Cloud Shinobi Village was already a shocking thing, then Hyuga Luochuan's attack on Cloud Shinobi Village was a shocking thing. Moreover, the reason why the two tails attacked Cloud Shinobi Village was because Hyuga Luochuan was fighting with Cloud Shinobi Village. This makes people think about it. This kid actually used this method to contain Hokage and contain a large number of people. Cloud Shinobi has to make people sigh. Moreover, the more important point is that the huge hole was made by Hyuga Luochuan, an 8-year-old child. This is simply a heaven-defying rhythm. An 8-year-old child has such powerful power. Does he already have Cage-level power? Oh my god, is this going to subvert everyone's perception? For a time, an undercurrent surged in the ninja world. The Hyuga clan far away in Konoha also got this information. However, after learning this information, Hyuga Kianyang laughed. It was indeed the genius of the family who had done such a sensational thing. Hokage, Danzo and others don't think so. Hokage is worried about whether Cloud Shinobi Village will take the opportunity to start a war. And Danzo is even more convinced that this must be the effect of Hyuga Luochuan's strange white eyes, otherwise how could a Shoudong get such power? The ninja world is turbulent, especially in this turbulent era, but a seemingly ordinary thing can take the lead and change the situation. The name Hyuga Luochuan is destined to be spread among the ninja world, and it is also destined to attract the attention of countless people. Moreover, he will surely win the respect of countless people. This Hyuga Luochuan, no matter what the price, we must find him, I will cut him into pieces. After the battle was over, Hokage roared angrily in the temporary office, and his fierce eyes swept over the people in front of him. The people in front of him all wore masks, which were standard Anbu costumes, that is, the costumes of the assassination troops. As my most trusted team, I will risk everything to catch the culprit who destroyed the village and behead him in front of everyone. Yes, 20 or so Anbu members responded respectfully, and body flicker technique left. This is the solution that Hokage can think of at the moment. He cannot go after that Hyuga Luochuan. The current Cloud Shinobi Village needs him to be in charge. Otherwise, if some young people take advantage of it and get in, the Cloud Shinobi Village will suffer even greater losses. Cloud Shinobi Village now feels like a frightened bird, and generally the shadows in the village will not leave the village, they will only leave unless a war breaks out. The village suffered huge losses because of Hyuga Luochuan. Hokage could no longer hold back and was already thinking about countermeasures. The other party is from a Konoha family, why not take this opportunity to put pressure on Konoha and ask Konoha to hand over this person? But after thinking about it, he finally gave up. Because Luochuan made it very clear before that the person he arranged to take Konoha was under surveillance. The other party came because of the kidnapping of Uzumaki Kushina. So, he naturally had no reason to go to Konoha to ask for someone. Otherwise, he can't bear to lose face. Without a good countermeasure, Hokage gritted his teeth, wishing that the opponent would show up in front of him again. Hello King Nuo. When the time comes, he will use all his strength to control the opponent with the power of thunder. In Konoha, Hokage's office was also surrounded by several consultants. Several consultants and Danzo communicated in this office for a long time. Finally, Li Tang was aggrieved. Sarutobi, think clearly. If you have a conflict with Cloud Shinobi Village because of this matter, you will be responsible for all the consequences. Quote. Danzo threatened, but there was joy hidden in his eyes. The third Hokage looked at him calmly and said, "Don't worry, you should clean up the mess you made. You'd better remember what I said before. If you cause trouble again, no one can protect you." Danzo didn't answer, just smiled mockingly, and Shishirin left. In the deep mountains of a small neutral country, a small thatched house has been built beside a stream. Luo Chuan sat on a boulder beside the stream, looking straight at the scroll in his hand. I can't compete with Reikage physically, but Reikage's nintaijutsu is really unique. This scroll is one of the ones obtained from Reikage's office. It records nintaijutsu, and there are records about Reikage's nintaijutsu. According to this scroll, Reikage's nintaijutsu mainly uses chakra to activate the body to achieve amazing speed and attack effects. First of all, from the perspective of the activation method, the activation of ninjutsu requires first refining chakra and then forming a seal. The activation of physical skills requires neither refining chakra nor forming seals. When Reikage activates nintaijutsu, chakra is gathered all over his body but his hands do not form seals. Therefore, the characteristic of activating nintaijutsu is that he needs to refine chakra without forming seals. The characteristic of ninjutsu is that it is extremely fast and has strong development potential. It is extremely destructive, has a wide range of damage, and has strong puncture ability. It can be covered with chakra to form armor, which has considerable defensive capabilities. This is the nintaijutsu used by Reikage, but it is also somewhat different from ordinary taijutsu. Taijutsu literally means, it is a technique that uses one's own body to attack, or adds chakra to directly attack, and directly causes physical damage to the opponent. The obvious thing is that it does not even use basic seals. It has nothing to do with the properties of chakra either. Reikage's ninjutsu incorporates lightning-style chakra, and has the world-famous Raiden chakra mode, so it is completely different from ordinary taijutsu. A very powerful technique, nintaijutsu must have attributes. Luo Chuan's body has many attributes. He is a being with all attributes, but among them, the three attributes of earth, wind, and fire are the most special and are directly linked. Learning ninjutsu is a must. It will greatly increase the strength of the body. In addition, there are pure taijutsu, so why not learn them too? Ninja taijutsu and taijutsu must be learned at the same time. Now that he has visited two powerful ninja countries, the Kingdom of Water and the Kingdom of Thunder, it is no longer necessary to visit other countries. To travel in the ninja world, the current strength is really a little lacking, and it must be increased to a certain level of strength, so that one can truly travel in the ninja world, and even gain a key position in various important battles. Doing what he thought of, Luo Chuan quickly learned Reikage's nintaijutsu and constantly experimented with the lightning-style chakra mode. As long as this mode is formed, he will have preliminary control over his nintaijutsu. However, this kind of ninjutsu is not so easy to practice, otherwise Cloud Shinobi Village would have been heaven-defying. It wasn't until late at night that Luo Chuan barely managed to get some tips and officially entered the state of ninjutsu practice. This practice lasted for half a month, and he spent half of the month doing ninjutsu to improve his physical fitness. Laden chakra mode. Half a month later, Luo Chuan, who was on the stream, stood firmly on the water and shouted, chakra nature transformed into lightning style. Lightning style chakra spread all over the body, and the whole body was bathed in thunder and lightning, as if a god had descended. Part of the lightning that swims around the body enters the water and spreads out quickly. In this way, a satisfied smile appeared on Luo Chuan's face, which was the best thing. The nintaijutsu has been officially mastered. All that needs to be done next is to continue practicing and increase the power of the nintaijutsu. Of course, it is impossible to lose other techniques, especially White Eyes and Dust Release. These two are his most fundamental powers. If these two powers are enhanced, he may even be able to directly use Dust Escape to disintegrate Reikage's lightning style when facing Reikage again, and then turn his body into nothingness. However, the improvement of these two forces is not that simple. It will take a long time to truly reach the level of ignoring everything. Perhaps we can also start practicing 8 Inner Gates. 8 Inner Gates is a powerful physical technique that can even hurt Uchiha Madara in 6 Paths mode. Thinking of the power of 8 Inner Gates, a smile appeared on Luo Chuan's lips unconsciously. After struggling for a long time, I finally decided to practice this powerful physical technique. 8 Inner Gates is a technique that releases the body's restrictions on chakra and releases excess energy. In the meridian system where chakra flows, the places that inhibit and control chakra in the body include the 8 gates of opening, closing, life, injury, du, jing, and death. This 8 gate will set a limit on the amount of chakra in the body, but this technique can force the chakra to exceed this limit, thereby eliciting a trick that is dozens of times more powerful than the original. However, while gaining power, the caster may be damaged, so this technique is listed as one of the forbidden techniques. When the 8 gates are all opened, the state is called the 8 Inner Gates formation. You can instantly gain dozens of times more power than when the 5 shadows fight together. However, this state is equivalent to gaining powerful power by burning yourself, and if the 8 Inner Gates formation is activated, you will eventually die because your own life force will be burned out. 8 Inner Gates formation seems to be a bit tricky, it is a desperate move. However, there may be another way to make up for this cost. Vitality. As long as you have enough vitality, you can use the 8 Inner Gates formation. But where does this vitality come from? This is something that needs to be studied. Wood style is indeed full of vitality, but it cannot completely support 8 Inner Gates formation. From this point of view, the only way to gain vitality is to increase one's vitality to a level that even the 8 Inner Gates formation cannot consume. Phew, it's time to start practicing this technique, hoping to increase the strength as soon as possible. When the 8 Inner Gates are mastered, that's when the ninja world kneels down and sings of conquest. There was a strong self-confidence in his eyes, and he devoted himself to training with great confidence and forgot all about food and sleep. Chapter 91. Beside the stream, Luo Chuan looked at the 3-meter-high and several-meter-thick boulder in front of him and punched quickly towards the peacock. His fist speed was so fast that it was impossible to see clearly the number of times he punched, not even the afterimage. Every punch struck the boulder with flames. A large amount of flames appeared when he punched, like a peacock spreading its tail, covering a wide area. Bang bang bang. The boulder in front of him quickly shattered and turned into powder under the continuous bombardment of fists. Behind the boulder, an avenue of flames stretching hundreds of meters suddenly formed. Under the flames, the ground had long been broken, and even the space had been slightly distorted, which showed how terrifying the power of this fist was. After the brief attack, Luo Chuan stopped, the flush on his face gradually subsided, and he exhaled, satisfied with the powdery boulder. Chow Peacock, this is a powerful move that can only be used after opening the 6th gate of 8 Inner Gates. Its speed can be said to be inhuman. This move can attack at close range, and it will definitely be a fatal blow when it hits the enemy. At the same time, it can also carry out long-range attacks, through the large number of fireballs formed by the friction between the ultra-high-speed fist and the air. The flames generated during the attack just now are the best proof. If the attack is from a distance, the fireball will fall with a large amount of chakra and impact force. If it attacks the enemy, it will also cause fatal damage. When the 8 Inner Gates are opened to the 4th gate, the attack power and speed will be further increased, but the body will also begin to suffer damage. It can be said to be entering the danger zone of the 8 Inner Gates, but it is also entering the 8 Inner Gates in the true sense, state. Each time a door is opened, the load on the body and the injuries will increase again, but at the same time, the attack power will also increase exponentially. After the 6th gate is opened, the speed is enough to rub the air and generate flames that are superior to ordinary fire style. But you can also put yourself into a semi-open buffer state, that is, the green energy emitted after opening the door is maintained but the body does not change in order to reduce your own consumption load and damage. When needed, you can instantly fully activate your combat power. After opening, you can use the peacock. Just now, he was in a state of full firepower. Based on his strength, a large amount of power was raised, the space was distorted, and the earth began to break. The hundreds of meters of flame avenue gradually extinguished, and Luo Chuan had no time to care about the situation on the ground. The 8 Inner Gates state had been lifted, but he quickly entered the lightning-style chakra mode again. Thunder and lightning were wrapped around him, and the blue chakra was blazing like a flame, burning and covering the body surface. Hell Thrust Ipponsen Hand. This is a move that belongs to Hokage. It ignores the previous moves and instantly enters the state of one hand. Chakra condensed on the fingertips and stabbed into the ground with one finger. Boom! The fingertips touched the ground, and the violent chakra and impact spread to the surroundings and underground. The ground within hundreds of meters suddenly collapsed, but Luo Chuan's movements did not stop. DS. With a loud shout, the strength quickly increased, and the ground collapsed faster, driving his body downwards. When he felt about the same, Luo Chuan put away his fingers and looked up. At this moment, he had blasted out a huge crater that was tens of meters deep and about 100 meters in diameter. This kind of power is really powerful. I'm afraid that if Hokage wants to create such an effect, it will take a lot of effort. If used in conjunction with the 8 inner gates, then this finger will have such terrifying power. I was thinking secretly in my heart, 8 inner gates is like a plug-in, which can give people huge power. Although it will cause a lot of physical damage, when fighting a truly powerful enemy, this small injury is really nothing. He used a light and heavy rock technique on himself, and his body slowly flew to the ground. He washed his body in the stream, and returned to the cabin to close his eyes and meditate. Not long after, footsteps were heard outside the door, and the person pushed the door straight in. "How's it going?" Luo Chuan asked directly without opening his eyes. The person who walked in immediately said, "My dear, the situation is similar to what you thought. Now the ninja world looks calm on the surface, but in fact it has become a mess. There are undercurrents surging secretly, and a war may break out at any time. This is his shadow clone, a spy he sent to collect some information in the ninja world. Shadow clone is perfect for collecting intelligence. You don't have to worry about being discovered. Even if it is discovered, Shadow Clone will be deactivated by itself, and Luo Chuan will be aware of it when the time comes, and the memory of Shadow Clone will return to his mind." After hearing the situation reported by Shadow Clone, Luo Chuan opened his eyes, and his eyes seemed to be shining with divine light, like a fourth practice reaching into the sky. Is it going to happen already? Time flies so fast, it's already been 2 years. 2 years have passed in this deep mountain. His improvement in these 2 years has been terrifying. The 8 inner gates and latent chakra mode just now are the best proof. I already have the power to wander in the ninja world. No, I should say I have the power to establish a foothold in the ninja world, and I can already look down on all the living beings in the ninja world like a few people. Now his physical age is 10 years old. At the age of 10, he is 1.6 meters tall, and he has become a handsome young boy. Although his facial contour still looks immature, his eyes that have gone through vicissitudes of life are not the kind of concealment that others of his age can have. Only the truly strong can have the Lin Lai aura. A truly strong person can control his own breath as freely as his fingers. Forming a seal with one hand, Shadow Clone disappeared, and a memory appeared in his mind. It was what Shadow Clone saw and heard. After quickly digesting the memory, Luo Chuan stood up, walked out of the cabin, turned around and used fire style to set the cabin on fire. As the fire engulfed the cabin, the imprint of Luo Chuan disappeared. 2 years have passed and it's time to go back. I don't know what their expressions will be. On the way back, after 2 years of promotion, with absolute power, the myth in the ninja world began. In the 32nd year of Konoha, undercurrents surged in the ninja world, and the smell of gunpowder smoke gradually filled the air. It was also in this year that Luo Chuan returned to Konohagakure. On the wide road outside Konohagakure, Luo Chuan, who had resumed his Chunin vest, was walking step by step with a Konoha forehead protector. After 2 years, Luo Chuan came to Konoha again, and Luo Chuan felt a little emotional in his heart. A mission lasted 2 years. Although special training was conducted during these 2 years, it was still a relatively long mission journey. As for just one mission, this number is too little for most ninjas. As for the many rumors about him in the ninja world, he was too lazy to pay attention to them. He has disappeared for 2 years, and now only those involved will mention him. 007. The 2 ninjas guarding the gate of Konoha looked at Luo Chuan, who walked to the door, and immediately stopped him. "Who is it? Please show your pass." The pass is unique to each ninja village and is generally used for ninjas who go out. If you don't have a pass, you can only enter the ninja village after notifying the Hokage and obtaining the Hokage's permission. Especially in today's era, passes are even more important. He took out the pass and handed it to the 2 ninjas. Both of them were ninjas from the Uchiha clan and were responsible for Konoha's security patrol mission. The ninjas of the Uchiha clan didn't say much after seeing the pass and let them go. After Luo Chuan walked in, one of them glanced at him and the other immediately left body flicker technique. Luo Chuan's first goal after returning to the village was the Hokage building. After returning from the mission, the ninja must make a report. In the Hokage building, the third Hokage listened to Luo Chuan's mission report, took a long puff of cigarette, and said, "Does that mean it was just an accident?" Luo Chuan, you are still too impulsive. You act without planning things well. This is very dangerous. It's easy to go wrong. Luo Chuan smiled lightly and did not deny the other party's words. Third Hokage thought for a while and continued, "You have put Raikage at a disadvantage and cannot cause trouble for you openly. But now that the situation is chaotic and all forces are gradually rising, you still need to be careful to avoid being plotted against. Thank you for your guidance. If nothing happens, I will resign. Go ahead." Third generation waved his hand and Luo Chuan exited the Hokage building and headed towards the Hyuga clan. After Luo Chuan left, third Hokage looked at the report submitted by Luo Chuan, as well as several other pieces of information, and couldn't help but fall into deep thought. This boy's power has become so powerful that it has shocked countless people. 2 years ago, when he was only 8 years old, he actually did such a thing in Kurigakure, and the purpose was just to provide him with an opportunity to escape. According to his own opinion, what he did in Cloud Shinobi Village was to avenge Kushina and steal some of the information back. The huge pit in Cloud Shinobi Village has long been made public. No one knows what kind of power it was caused by, but they know that it belongs to Luo Chuan's power. What kind of terrifying power is there to cause such an effect with one blow? Although some people have speculated that this effect should be caused by the use of some special power, or the use of some special ninja tools. But these speculations were overturned by Raikage. Raikage was certain that it was a ninjutsu, a palpitating ninjutsu. Just one look at it would make everyone panic. Everything is nothing, just like the name of this ninjutsu, everything will turn into nothingness, even the soul is no exception. The content in the intelligence is from 2 years ago. Although the time seems a bit long, the intelligence is still applicable to the current situation. Raikage actually wants to participate in this matter and has made so many preparations. However, he has not heard that Cloud Shinobi Village wants to intervene. What is going on? The chaotic situation means that a war has begun to take shape. This is a war against the entire ninja world, that is, the Second Ninja War. The Second Ninja War is about to break out. Who in the ninja world can stay out of it? Perhaps only those unknown Shounen villages can hide themselves and stay out of the matter. However, is it really that simple? Inform Hitaki Shigesaku, Hyuga Chiyo, Orochimaru, Jiraiya, and Tsunade to come see me. After calling the names of 5 people at once, third Hokage felt as if a huge boulder had been pressed down on his heart, which was extremely heavy. Luo Chuan has returned to the Hyuga clan. No one in the family knew about his return in advance. When he walked into the Hyuga clan, the guards at the door recovered from their surprise and quickly rushed to the head of the family's room, reported this matter. Before Luo Chuan reached his own courtyard, Hyuga Qianyang had already walked over, with a group of elders behind him. "Boy, you are finally back." Qianyang, who was as calm as Hyuga, could not hide his excitement at this moment, patting the other party's shoulders and nodding continuously. Several family elders were also smiling. Although this kid had disappeared for 2 years, no one thought anything would happen to him. After all, he was the person who caused a sensation in the ninja world. How could something happen so easily? "Master, your shoulder is almost broken." Luo Chuan smiled slightly. Hyuga Qianyang's strength has improved a lot. He has improved a lot in the past 2 years. It seems that he is about to enter the ranks of cage-level experts. He was originally a quasi-shadow power, but now he is on the verge of a breakthrough. If given a chance, he might be able to break through to the ranks of cage-level experts. After thinking about it, Luo Chuan decided to help him when the time comes. If Hyuga Qianyang is promoted to cage level, it will definitely be beneficial to him. "Boss, you are finally back and you want us to death." A childish and hearty voice sounded, and you didn't even need to think about it to know who it was. Who else could be so funny besides Hyuga Hiyashi? Hyunyang was about to open his mouth to speak, but he saw a few more figures approaching from far away, and could only say, Luo Chuan, you go and catch up with the others first, while I go to Master Hokage. Hyuga Hiyashi rushed to Luo Chuan and hugged him hard. He laughed and said, Boss, what did you do? It took you 2 years to come back. By the way, we all know what happened to you 2 years ago. It's so exciting, it's typical to just show off and run away, it's so exciting. Hiyashi's words seemed very exciting. Luo Chuan broke out of his arms with a slight effort and said, if you don't talk about anything else, why have you not only not matured in the past 2 years, but have become more nervous? Oops. When Hiyashi was told this, he looked completely embarrassed. Another person came over and explained, because he was led astray by Minato. The person who spoke was Hazashi, and Minato also came over, with Makoto beside him. After learning that Luo Chuan had returned, these people couldn't wait to come over. Being led astray by Minato. Luo Chuan's face looked a little weird. Is Minato that kind of person? Impossible, absolutely impossible. Minato's character should make Hiyashi more mature. Vaguely, he saw a figure hiding behind everyone, and he knew clearly that except for her, there was really no one who could make Hiyashi more nervous. I just feel sorry for Hiyashi, his life may not have been so easy in the past 2 years. Kushina, aren't you tired of hiding there? Kushina, who was hiding behind the elders, trembled when she heard this, and walked out with a slightly embarrassed look, saying, it wasn't me who taught Hiyashi bad things. Don't waste your money. Everyone was speechless. You denied it before they even said anything. Isn't this a disguised admission? Really, it's so interesting. Luo Chuan shook his head and said, I didn't say it was you, Hiyashi. You are too immature now and need more training. From now on, you will follow Minato honestly and report to me directly if you have any problems. Do you understand? The same age, but no one thought there was anything weird when he said such words. This is Hyuga Luo Chuan, the absolute genius of the Hyuga clan. Yes, Hiyashi was secretly happy and almost cheered. Although he looked very nervous just now, he was forced to do so. If he didn't say that, it would be a good thing. Luo Chuan nodded, turned to the elders and said, Elders, I just returned to Konoha, can you explain to me the current situation of Konoha? The current situation of Konoha. Which aspect? Economy, mission, strength, situation. 4 key points, concisely and to the point. The elders nodded slowly, led Luo Chuan into the conference hall, and explained the current situation in Konoha in detail. The situation in Konoha was a bit beyond Luo Chuan's expectations. Konoha still looks very peaceful on the surface now, but since the news about him came back 2 years ago, it has become no longer peaceful. Everywhere is full of dangers. If you are not careful, you may be involved in Uzumaki. Not a single dregs is left. In terms of economics, more and more businessmen are now requesting to settle in Konoha and develop in Konoha. In addition, the daimyos of the Land of Fire continued to allocate funds and gave corresponding policies, and Konoha's economy was booming. In terms of tasks, due to the incident 2 years ago, countless clients are now more inclined to Konoha and recognize Konoha's power more, so there are more tasks. In terms of strength, there has not been much growth, it is almost the same as before. There were not many outstanding talents in 2 years. If there is one, it is Minato. Hiyashi and others have graduated, and Minato has been trained by 3rd Hokage, and his reputation has already spread in Konoha. The other is Makoto. Makoto's Sharingan has been opened, and now she is still 2 Tomo Sharingan. For her age, she is also a shining star. Kushina is 9 Tails Jinchuriki, which the villagers of Konoha don't know. But the senior leaders of the Hyuga clan still know about it, and people from other big families also know about it. As a 9 Tails Jinchuriki, it goes without saying that Kushina's talent and strength are natural. Although occasionally 9 Tails can be a little dishonest, overall she is very good. The 2 brothers Hiyashi and Hazashi are slightly less talented, but their current strength is among the best among their peers. This is the current situation of a few people, and other families also have some talented people, but they don't have such shining performances. Therefore, Konoha's strength has not improved significantly. The situation is a bit mysterious. Danzo, who is the main militant faction, is very aggressive now and has done many outrageous things, even trapping and killing some people from the Hyuga clan in an attempt to get a blank look. For this reason, Qianyang even clashed with Gen, almost causing a large-scale battle. If Lord Hokage hadn't suppressed it, the battle would have probably broken out inside Konoha. Another issue is the major families, especially the Uchiha family. Naturally, the Uchiha clan learned about what Luo Chuan did 2 years ago. After that, they kept looking for the third Hokage to impeach the Hyuga clan, and even wanted to turn Luo Chuan into a rebel ninja to weaken the power of the Hyuga clan. But unfortunately, this matter was suppressed by the third Hokage, and even punished the Uchiha clan. The overall situation is unstable. Based on the chaos in the ninja world, Yi's main war faction appears to be strong. This is the current situation of Konoha, a relatively chaotic situation. That guy Danzo is still alive. It seems that it is really not simple. What does the third Hokage mean? Actually, the chaos in the ninja world began 2 years ago, so the third Hokage-sama's opinion is to retain Danzo and let him contribute in any war that may break out in the future. As for whether General will be dealt with by then, it is difficult to say. Really, there is no need for the route to exist. Several elders are ready to prepare it. When they are free, they will follow me to get the route. Luo Chuan said it very simply and clearly. There is only one reason for being so anxious to kill Gen, and that is the transaction between Danzo and Raikage. This matter has been investigated by Shadow Clone, so naturally there is no possibility of keeping Danzo and Gen alive. The elders finished explaining what happened in Konoha, and Luo Chuan had a deeper understanding of it. Judging from the current situation in Konoha, if Danzo is moved, it will definitely cause some turmoil. Moreover, the ninja world is turbulent and on the verge of war. Therefore, under normal circumstances, Danzo must not move at this moment. However, the route taken by Luo Chuan is different from others. Danzo is always a threat. If he doesn't get rid of it, it will be difficult to feel at ease. Even if the third generation wanted to let Danzo help in the war, it was already too late. Once a war breaks out, Danzo will probably be the first to cause trouble in Konoha. Luo Chuan, who knows Danzo's character well, will never let these things happen. Dealing with Danzo is the most ideal way. The elders who heard what he said fell silent. What Danzo did to the Hyuga clan had aroused public outrage within the clan, and countless people wanted Danzo's life. But who dares to provoke this? Even Hyuga Qianyang didn't dare to attack Danzo until he was absolutely sure. The abilities of the Hyuga clan are very powerful, but the most powerful Hyuga Senyo is only the pinnacle of quasi-shadow power. How can he start a civil war in the village? But now that Luo Chuan is willing to take the lead, the elders are a little moved. After all, what Luo Chuan did 2 years ago was so shocking that they still respect him infinitely. The elders don't have to think too much. They can secretly mobilize manpower. I will explain the situation to the family master when he comes back. Yes, when several elders heard this, they went down to prepare. Under the current situation, Luo Chuan's words were almost the same as the family head's order. People from the Hyuga clan have left one after another, and Minato and Hiyashi Hazashi naturally have no possibility of staying. Now time and space are given to the remaining 3 people. 2 beauties stood in front of them. Luo Chuan smiled faintly and said, "I haven't seen you for a long time." They have grown a lot taller. Single quote. As he spoke, he hugged Makoto. Although Makoto was still a little young, his figure had begun to grow and began to take shape. The soft body makes people want to stop. It feels soft, like gentle water, which makes people linger. Makoto is a little shy. Although no one here is an outsider, her gentle and shy character still can't bear this kind of intimacy in broad daylight. 2 years of waiting, even though I knew he would be fine. But every night, this familiar figure appears in my dreams, looking forward to the day I can meet him. There were many words that she had been thinking about for a long time, but in the hug after meeting, there was no need to say anything more, as long as she understood what she meant. You are also more mature and stronger. You must have worked hard these past 2 years. Makoto rested his head on his chest and spoke softly. Luo Chuan put one arm around her shoulders and the other around her slim waist. He smiled unconsciously and whispered loving words. The way the two of them kissed me made Kushina on the side look envious. Looking at her again, Luo Chuan didn't mean to look at her. He couldn't help but snorted, crossed his arms and glanced to the side. Luo Chuan naturally saw her at this time. He wanted to go over and comfort her a few words, but when he saw her secretly glancing eyes, he immediately understood and ignored her. This time, Kushina was so angry that she turned around and reported, "Why are you ignoring me? Why don't you hug me?" There was deep anger and resentment in her words. Seeing that Luo Chuan was ignoring her, she made a request, but her somewhat arrogant words still revealed her inner desire. Luo Chuan laughed, let go of Makoto in his arms, hugged her directly, and said, "Since you have already made a request, I will reluctantly give you a hug." Being hugged, although it was a bit uncomfortable to say that, Kushina still laughed and hugged Luo Chuan with both hands, but she still refused to admit it. "I'm not begging you." Luo Chuan didn't continue talking. He just stopped talking. If something goes too far, there will be trouble. After spending some time with the two beauties, he brought them into the room. After sitting down, he asked, "Kushina, you have now become Nine Tails Jinchuriki. How do you feel about Nine Tails?" "Nine Tails, that fox is always causing trouble. It is not honest even after being sealed. It makes trouble from time to time and hinders my chakra. It is a bit irritating. But I can also feel that the fox is quite lonely. It's probably because there aren't many people to accompany it." Thinking about what her mother-in-law said before, Ninetails's heart should be relatively empty. A very fair evaluation. Although what happened to Jinchuriki happened to her, she did not become pessimistic because of it. Instead, she felt a little sympathetic to Nine Tails. This is what Luo Chuan would like to see the most. If Jinchuriki becomes disgusted with the tailed beasts, it may intensify the tailed beasts' resistance or even backlash, causing them to lose control at a critical moment. This is a huge potential threat to Jinchuriki. You said it right, Nine Tails may be feeling empty inside, so are you interested in facing Nine Tails now? Confronting Nine Tails, Kushina was a little curious and a little expectant. Luo Chuan smiled faintly, put one hand on Kushina's forehead, and his spiritual power invaded it. With the intrusion of mental power, Luo Chuan felt the surrounding environment change. After a feeling of dizziness, he came to a dark sewer. The sewers are dark and filled with a strange force, an evil force. "Kushina, let's go and take a look at the situation of Nine Tails. It will also give you a deeper understanding of Nine Tails. This will be of great help to you. In fact, Nine Tails is still very easy to talk to. As long as you can make it recognize you, then your future endurance career will be smooth sailing." Kushina was beside her, not looking a little confused about being in such an environment. But after hearing Luo Chuan's words, he settled down, grabbed Luo Chuan's arm tightly, and followed him towards the end of the sewer. At the end of the dim sewer, a red chakra filled the ground, spreading outward like a sea of blood. The entire space turned red, and chakra revealed an evil aura. It was a suffocating and terrifying feeling. Chakra is essentially endless, like a river that never dries up. In the center of this chakra, in a huge cage, a pair of huge scarlet eyes stared straight ahead, the ferocious white fangs reflected the dense white light, and the nine tails of the huge red fox's body were wandering uncertainly. Nine Tails Demon Fox, the most powerful tailed beast, a powerful tailed beast with infinite chakra. At the edge of chakra, Kushina grabbed Luo Chuan's arm and looked nervously at the huge creature in the cage, slightly flinching. "This is it. This is Nine Tails. Doesn't it look very powerful? Don't be nervous, come with me, it can't break out of the cage, it's okay, as long as it is in the cage, you are absolutely safe." After comforting Kushina, whose body was shaking slightly, Luo Chuan walked towards Nine Tails with a serious expression. "This is the most powerful tailed beast alive, the Nine Tails Demon Fox Kurama." Watching the two people approaching, Nine Tails showed a ferocious smile and said, "Come here, little human, and tear open the yellow paper above." "Yellow paper? You mean the seal? Kurama, you seem to be thinking too much." Luo Chuan had already walked in front of it. Nine Tails' pupils shrank when he heard the name he said, and then his front paws suddenly thrust out, and the sharp nails reflected the faint light. Boom! Nine Tails' forearm had completely extended out of the cage, but the nail finally stopped 10 centimeters in front of Luo Chuan's body. So close, Luo Chuan could feel the endless chakra on it. The current Nine Tails is in a complete state and has not been divided into yin and yang chakra, so its power is complete. Nine Tails roared angrily, unable to hurt the human in front of it and unable to break out of this cage. Its heart was filled with anger. Ajeb. Kushina, come here. Kushina was about 5 meters behind him, and she was already intimidated by Nine Tails' aura before she could get completely close. After hearing Luo Chuan's words, great courage surged in his heart and he walked over slowly. Luo Chuan looked at Nine Tails' claws that were gradually retracting, stared at its scarlet eyes, and said calmly, Kushina, as the Jinchuriki of Nine Tails, you must have a sufficient understanding of Kurama. Now let me explain to you the origin of this Kurama. Let you know. Kurama, is that the name of Nine Tails? What a strange name. Little brat, you are not allowed to insult this noble name. Also, how do you know my name? Luo Chuan did not answer its words, but said directly, Nine Tails is a huge-tailed beast with 9 tails, named Kurama. Kurama and other tailed beasts were taken from the body of 10 tails by the Sage of 6 Paths in ancient times. After the 9 chakras were separated, they formed the 9-tailed beasts today. Among them, 9 tails has the most chakra and is the strongest. 10 tails is an extremely powerful monster. You don't need to understand it now. What you need to know is Kurama. Strictly speaking, Kurama's character is relatively friendly, but he is used to human fights. Tailed beasts have the dignity of tailed beasts, and their powerful power gives them incomparable confidence. So it is their instinct to ignore human life, but the intelligence of tailed beasts is not inferior to humans. They also know that some humans have the power to fight them, and even have the power to seal them. As the strongest tailed beast, Kurama is more able to control his emotions. If you can get Kurama's recognition, you will be able to receive his gift. Luo Chuan said a lot in one breath, and Kushina was completely confused. And the eyes of Nine Tails were more fearful and cautious. Kid, tell me how you know these things. These are top secrets. The origin of the tailed beasts is their top secret, but how did this kid know? Moreover, Sage of 6 Paths and 10 tails were also involved. You don't need to know who I am, you just need to know that Kushina, as your Jinchuriki, will share weal and woe with you. If Jinchuriki dies, you will also die. And if Jinchuriki is defeated, it will be you Kurama who will lose it. Of all the Jinchuriki we know now, 8 Tails Gyuki's Jinchuriki is quite powerful. I wonder if you are interested in competing. Without revealing too much about himself, Nine Tails snorted and lay down in the cage. Kid, your provocation method has no effect on me. No matter what, the power of 8 Tails is inferior to mine. This is an unchangeable fact. If you want to use 8 Tails Jinchuriki to let me assist this Kushina, that's impossible. And since this is a woman, it's even more impossible. What? Kushina was furious when she heard this. She suddenly forgot about the horror of Nine Tails and shouted, You stinky fox, don't underestimate me. I want to become the first female Hokage in history, people. Nine Tails was stunned for a moment by such a yell, and suddenly grinned, and was about to speak with endless ridicule, but Kushina spoke again. You don't want to help me, but I don't want you to help me yet. I heard that foxes all have body odor, and I don't want to be suffocated to death by you. Hey, I have a sultry smell on my body. Kushina pinched her nose seriously and kept fanning with one hand. Not only Luo Chuan, but also Nine Tails were completely confused by such words. Body odor. Does he have body odor? Oh my god, he is a tailed beast who loves to be clean, not one of those ordinary foxes. Luo Chuan felt a pain in his heart. Kushina really could say anything. Once she was angered, she would not be afraid no matter what the identity of the other party was. Forget it, the matter at hand must be resolved quickly, otherwise this trip will be in vain. Kurama, please give me a nice word. Either you take the initiative to cooperate with Kushina, or I personally take action to make you obey. Ha ha ha, ha ha ha, a little brat still wants me to obey you. Nine Tails' scarlet eyes reflected deep ridicule. Since you know my origin, you should know what I represent and what my power is. Little brat, think carefully before you talk big. It is one of the special chakras from 10 Tails and is said to have unlimited chakra. If it weren't for some special ninjutsu, it would be invincible in the ninja world. Luo Chuan couldn't help but smile. If someone else can seal the tailed beast, then he has the power to intimidate the tailed beast, and it is the most fundamental kind of intimidation. Although the 9 tails are formed from chakra, they also have a specific soul. If the soul dies, the tailed beast will truly die and will never exist again. 9 tails, I don't know if you want to try it. Feel this way. Dust escape, everything is gone. Without the dust escape caused by other forces, a small transparent barrier appeared in the middle of his hands. There is nothing in the barrier, no air, no time, no matter. Kushina doesn't know why this little gadget wants to scare 9 tails. This seems a bit exaggerated. However, when 9 tails saw the small barrier, there was deep fear in his eyes, and he said in a low voice, "Kid, what is this? Why do you have such power?" As powerful as 9 tails, he can naturally see the dangers of this barrier. Souls and destroying souls are the most terrifying abilities of this barrier. Once the soul is eliminated, no matter what kind of existence it is, it will disappear forever, disappear in the true sense. In this world, there will no longer be any marks of living things. After living for countless years, the 9-tailed beasts stand proudly in the ninja world. They may have their own dignity, but they are also afraid of death. Especially for these tailed beasts who think they are immortal, once something appears that can make them disappear in a real sense, it will arouse fear in their hearts. Yes, 9 tails is scared. Seeing that the dust escape was effective, Luo Chuan smiled lightly, and the body flicker technique came to 9 tails' huge head. 9 tails' body immediately froze, not daring to move. Human brat, what do you want to do? What do you want to do? As I said just now, if you don't take the initiative, then I have to personally make you obey. Of course, if you don't obey, then letting you disappear forever is also a good option. The power that cannot be harnessed and used, rather than keeping it, it's better to eliminate it, so that the phone doesn't need to be prevented from being obtained by others. What do you think? If you can't make it perform as you wish, then let it disappear forever. What a terrifying mentality. 9 tails couldn't figure out what was going on in this kid's heart or what he really meant. It is a powerful tailed beast that is constantly struggling inside. But now he is facing the threat of death, and it is the death threat that makes him have to make a choice. Seeing that it didn't make a decision, Luo Chuan's barrier on his hands expanded a little, and he sneered, "Kushina, forget about this fox, I'll find you a summoning beast, that's also a good choice." After speaking, he lowered his hands. 9 tails noticed this and immediately said, wait a minute, let me think about it, let me think about it." Luo Chuan paused with his hands, then continued to press them. "No, I'm convinced, I'm blind." 9 tails hurriedly said it, but his body did not dare to move at all. Who knows whether this kid will really throw down the barrier? If it is really thrown down, it doesn't know how it can resist in this cage. Luo Chuan shook his hands and the barrier dispersed. Shi Shiren stepped off 9 tails' head. After walking out of the cage, he turned around and looked at the huge-tailed beast. After submitting, 9 tails looked a little depressed, low in energy, and suffered a huge inner shock. This is the right choice. 9 tails' huge ears moved, and its eyes looked at Luo Chuan, said in a low voice, "How do you know I will definitely choose?" "Because you are also afraid of death, right?" Luo Chuan meant something, and 9 tails' face froze, completely convinced. An upgraded dust release makes it feel the breath of death, and the choices it makes are in line with most thinking logic. Kushina looked at this incredible scene, and she never imagined that this legendary evil-tailed beast was actually subdued by Luo Chuan, showing such a cowardly behavior in front of her. Is this still a powerful tailed beast that dominates the world? Is this still the strongest tailed beast? Luo Chuan said, "You know what to do next. Know that as my Jinchuriki, I will no longer interfere with her chakra, nor will I attack the barrier wantonly. And I will use chakra for her when she needs it. In your words, we share weal and woe." A smart choice. Kushina has a special body that can support a huge chakra. You can teach her Jinchuriki's tailed beast mode. 9 tails was lying on the ground, looking bored, but his heart had already collapsed. If you fail once, you will always fail. At this moment, Luo Chuan is no longer an ordinary human kid in its eyes, but a demon that can destroy everything. What kind of mentality is it to destroy your soul if you disagree? Perhaps, this is more terrifying than the powerful human enemies it has encountered before. After all, Those guys have no way to kill it. After finishing 9 tails, Luo Chuan said to Kushina, if you have any need for strength in the future, just ask Kurama directly. No need to be polite, even if it breaks out in tailed beast mode, that's fine. Tailed beast transformation means that Jinchuriki borrows the power of tailed beasts to fight, which is the fastest way to increase combat effectiveness. There are many types of tailed beast transformations. The most basic one is to use chakra. The body does not change significantly, but a state of tailed beast chakra appears on the surface of the body, which is equivalent to the elementary tailed beast clothing. There are also half-tailed beast transformations and complete tailed beast transformations. If there is a complete tailed beast transformation, it will restore the original power of the tailed beast to the maximum extent, which is very terrifying. What is this tailed beast mode? Kushina didn't know why. Luo Chuan smiled faintly and said, I will tell you when I get out, and by the way, I will tell you how to use the tailed beast chakra. In the Hyuga clan annex, Luo Chuan has finished talking about the application of tailed beast chakra and the application of tailed beast transformation. Most Jinchuriki can simply use the tailed beast chakra, but only a very small number of Jinchuriki can use the ability to transform into a tailed beast. The perfect use of tailed beasts can ensure the safety of Jinchuriki to the greatest extent, and it may also be able to change a war. There are only 3 of them in this courtyard, but these words from Luo Chuan's mouth can shake the structure of the ninja world. No one expected that Konoha's 9 tails Jinchuriki would undergo earth-shaking changes this night. No one thought that a terrifying female ninja would take her first step here in the future. Kushina needs to digest what Luo Chuan taught and go back to her room to think. Makoto snuggled next to him, and the two of them talked affectionately. It wasn't until the crescent moon was high that Luo Chuan slowly got up, carried the half-asleep Makoto back to the room, covered him with a quilt, and walked out of the courtyard. In the conference hall, Hyuga Kianyang, who had just returned from the Hokage building, summoned all the elders for a meeting. In the middle of the meeting, Luo Chuan walked in. All the elders stood up immediately, their white eyes moving as he entered. From this move, we can already see the thoughts and attitudes of the senior leaders of the Hyuga clan, Luo Chuan, and the future of the Hyuga clan. Qian Yang, who was sitting at the top, smiled and said, "What's the important thing for you to come here now?" Luo Chuan walked to him, turned around to face all the elders, nodded slightly, and said, "Master, elders, let me briefly tell you something that happened 2 years ago. 2 years ago, after completing the mission from Kurigakure, he was chased by Kurigakure, so he caused some trouble for Kurigakure. After attracting their attention, he absconded by sea. After absconding, he arrived at the Land of Thunder, and happened to think of another thing. Everyone knows about Kushina, and her identity is not a secret among us. Kushina was kidnapped 2 years ago, and it was Cloud Shinobi Village who took action. So I went to Cloud Shinobi Village to investigate some things. I didn't want to do anything about it. When I came out of Cloud Shinobi Village, I was discovered by Cloud Shinobi, and something happened. And the movie came out. Reikage and I were strangers, but he could know my name and identity. After coming out of Cloud Shinobi Village, after I left, I felt something fishy, so I went back to investigate. Unexpectedly, this investigation made me discover something. Someone among us in Konoha colluded with Reikage. At the cost of 3 pairs of white eyes, Reikage took action to kill me. I stayed in Cloud Shinobi Village, and that person was our root leader of Konoha, Shimura Danzo. 2 years later, today, I returned to Konoha. Everyone is familiar with Shimura Danzo's machinations. And I also got the handwritten letter he gave to Reikage, which can further confirm this matter. Shimura Danzo has been coveting it for a long time, so I decided to attack Shimura Danzo and uproot the entire root at the same time. After saying a lot of words, everyone present gradually became gloomy. Everyone already knows what Shimura Danzo did to the Hyuga clan, and 3rd Hokage also gave a guarantee 2 years ago. However, it is clear that Shimura Danzo did not take the 3rd Hokage's warning seriously and still attacked the Hyuga clan. In this case, there is really no need to be polite to Shimura Danzo. Master, I think it's okay to take action against Danzo. Pulling out the roots is of great significance to ease peace and stability. I also agree with this approach. Danzo is too arrogant and doesn't take our Hyuga clan seriously at all. The elders were filled with indignation and secretly rejoiced. Fortunately, Luo Chuan was able to escape from that dangerous situation. Otherwise, how long would it take for the Hyuga clan to have such a genius again? However, Hyuga Qianyang had another opinion and said, I understand what you all mean, but the structure of the ninja world is in turmoil now. If we attack Danzo, Konoha will lose a lot of combat power. The meaning of third Hokage it is to let Danzo contribute in the war, which can weaken Danzo's power and ensure the safety of other ninjas. So, I agree with Master Hokage's approach. This is the final decision he got from today's meeting, and it is also third Hokage's preparation for war. War can break out at any time, and third Hokage is still relatively good at planning at this moment, and has more things to consider. However, Luo Chuan has waited for such a long time, how can he let Danzo continue to be free? Moreover, even if the ninja world war breaks out, according to Danzo's mature character, not only will he not contribute in the war, he will even use the power in his hands to eliminate the geniuses in Konoha who do not belong to his camp. Lose. The second ninja war produced many genius ninjas, but many genius ninjas also died inexplicably. This kind of thing must never happen. Before Luo Chuan could ask, Qianyang's eyes flickered and he hesitated. Luo Chuan, how is your strength at the moment? I haven't seen him in 2 years, and I don't have a precise understanding of his power. In other words, I never had a correct understanding before. Other elders are also quite curious, what is this genius' current achievements? Luo Chuan thought about it for a moment, then looked at Qianyang's slightly meaningful smile, smiled lightly, and said, there is no opponent below cage level. Below cage level, there is no rival. Hiss. There was a gasp in the conference hall, and everyone looked at Luo Chuan. They were no longer looking at a human being, but like a monster. The age of 10 is only the age of 10. Below cage level, doesn't that mean that he is at least the peak of quasi-film now, or even cage level? Of course, how could they imagine that this was Luo Chuan's conservative statement? What the final strength is, that is still a secret that he keeps. Everyone prepares to eradicate Gen and Danzo from Konohagakure tomorrow night. Everyone prepares to eradicate Gen and Danzo from Konohagakure tomorrow night. Hyuga Qianyang is full of confidence and Luo Chuan has achieved so much. If so, then do we still need to worry about Danzo? How strong is Danzo? That's basically the realm of quasi-shadow. A troop led by a quasi-shadow warrior might be very powerful. But now that the Hyuga clan has another super strong person who is at least the pinnacle of shadow, plus Hyuga Qianyang himself, 2 strong people who are at the pinnacle of shadow are fighting against Gen, and they are absolutely sure to win. This is the biggest basis for him to issue orders. A quasi-shadow strongman is worth many elite jonin, not to mention ordinary jonin. Weighing the left and right, Yang laughed heartily. The other elders also started shouting, and for a while the conference hall was like a noisy vegetable market. However, Luo Chuan said calmly, Master, now we have 2 strong men in the Hyuga clan, but it may not be easy to deal with the third Hokage. The Hyuga clan does not have enough chips. A bargaining chip for negotiating with the third Hokage. The Hyuga clan is preparing to act secretly. Although it is said that after handles Gen and Danzo, the third Hokage will not make substantial punishment to the Hyuga clan due to the war situation, but he will also have a grudge against the Hyuga clan in his heart. At this time, the Hyuga family must have enough chips to dispel his grudge. And this kind of bargaining chip is power. It is understandable in the ninja world that the weak provoke the strong and are eventually destroyed by the strong. Therefore, the power of the Hyuga clan still needs to be improved. After hearing Luo Chuan's words, Qianyang understood the meaning and felt a little distressed. Although I am at the peak of quasi-shadow, I still cannot break through this shackles. There is only a thin line between the peak of quasi-shadow and cage level, but it is a world of difference. This thin line may be broken through in an instant, or it may last forever. You will never be able to break through in your lifetime. Cage level is the power that truly stands at the pinnacle of the ninja world. Countless quasi-cage masters looked at the cage-level realm so close to them in the quasi-cage realm and sighed, they will never be able to break through it in their entire lives. Also, if cage-level strong men were so easy to break through, then cage-level strong men would have been everywhere long ago, and cage-level strongmen would no longer be a major deterrent. The elders are a little pity. The family leader's talent is already very strong. If he can reach the pinnacle of quasi-shadowing at this age, he is also a real genius. If he can be promoted to a cage-level expert, the status of the Hyuga clan will be unshakable. Master, there is no need to sigh. The master's strength and talent are already at the top of the ninja world. Yes, let's take the current leader of the Uchiha clan. His power is only a quasi-shadow, which is even worse than that of the family leader. The elders' comfort did not make Qianyang relax, but made him even more distressed. Luo Chuan said at this time, it is entirely possible for the head of the family to be promoted to the cage-level ranks. Please follow me. The promotion process needs to be absolutely hidden and no one can disturb it. Elders, I leave this matter to you. After saying that, he stood up and made a meeting hall. The elders were stunned for a moment, and then they were ecstatic. Qianyang was also stunned, and finally followed him out like crazy. The elders are following behind, and they may witness the birth of a cage-level strongman, which may only be seen once in a lifetime or even impossible to see. It only takes this once, and it is a grand occasion for them. Luo Chuan walked ahead and stopped in a secluded corner of Hyuga's mansion. There are many trees here to cover it, and there is a grassland in the middle, making the environment more elegant. The elders conspicuously formed a protective circle outside the trees, and Qianyang followed them in. Luo Chuan, what are you going to do? Qianyang thought about many possibilities in his mind, but in the end, he couldn't think of how to let him break through the shackles. Could it be said that we are cultivating here? Luo Chuan smiled, rolled his eyes, and said, Master, you just need to relax. You don't need to be surprised if anything happens later. Just stay calm. The white eyes have been opened, and a white light flashed in the white pupils. White eyes blood devour. Without saying a word, he used the blood-devouring ninjutsu. Chakra was injected into his white eyes, and a large amount of pupil power spread out, appearing in a form that was invisible to the naked eye. At this time, I saw Hyuga Qianyang's white eyes emitting dazzling white light, and then it surged into Luo Chuan's eyes in a form visible to the naked eye. Luo Chuan's white eyes were like an abyss, and the pupil power entering them could never fill those eyes. Qianyang's heart trembled. He could clearly feel that his pupil power was quickly disappearing and being plundered by the opponent. He was extremely surprised, but he still calmed down and tried to control the uncomfortable feeling. When his pupil power was almost dry, the speed at which Luo Chuan's white eyes absorbed the pupil power suddenly stopped, and then he was seen using his fierce technique again. White eyes blood successor feedback. As he finished speaking, a dazzling light flashed from his eyes, and this light rushed into Qianyang's white eyes. Well, a large amount of pupil power poured in, and Hyuga Qianyang groaned. The pupil power surprised him. The pupil power not only included his original pupil power, but also included the pupil power belonging to Luo Chuan. This pupil power traveled to other parts of the body through his eyes and impacted various major acupuncture points. This is Luo Chuan's method, using the pupil power absorbed by Qianyang to combine with his own pupil power, and finally feed back this pupil power to Qianyang's body. Since most of it belongs to Qianyang's pupil power, it will not have any side effects after entering his body. Instead, it will form a huge ability to impact various acupuncture points. This was the method he came up with. It was a temporary method, but it was also a method confirmed after countless calculations. Master, sit down and continue the attack. Qianyang sat down after hearing this, and controlled the eye power to quickly enter the cultivation state. A few hours passed, and after breaking through acupuncture points one by one, Qianyang suddenly opened his eyes, and streaks of supplementary light shot out from his eyes. This is the power of cage level. The power of cage level. Fight the shackles of conflict and step into the cage level ranks. On the night of Luo Chuan's return, Hyuga Qianyang broke through to the ranks of cage level experts with the help of Luo Chuan. That endless pupil power became the foundation for breakthrough and the key to the cage level door. In just a few hours, he had become a strong man at the top of the ninja world, joining the ranks of cage level strong men. Luo Chuan is at the pinnacle of quasi-shadowing at this moment, and may break through at any time. However, his situation is special. He practices harder, but the rewards are also greater. If he gets first blood at a higher level, he will definitely be able to fight against cage-level experts. This is an unchanging fact. And if he breaks into the ranks of cage-level experts, what kind of terrifying power will he be? The elders rushed over and surrounded Hyuga Qianyang with admiration. A cage-level strongman finally appears in the family. In this way, the family will be more confident. Luo Chuan, thank you so much. Qianyang took a deep breath. The biggest contributor today was Luo Chuan. No one can deny his achievements. At the same time, he was shocked in his heart. Luo Chuan could help him become a cage-level strongman. Does that mean that Luo Chuan is also a cage-level strongman? This is a very bold guess, crazy guess. Who can believe what the 10-year-old cage-level expert P says? Not even the first Hokage has such a heaven-defying talent. Luo Chuan smiled and said, "Nothing, this is what I should do. Head of the family, I will go back to rest first and make some preparations." Luo Chuan talked too much with them, and returned to his villa under the watch of everyone, and came to the room to get ready. You can't be too relaxed when fighting Jen. You must calculate everything carefully. This time the battle must be completed before Anbu arrives. If Anbu appears, it will be difficult for the Hyuga family to deal with it. Quick victory is the last word. As long as the root of the ninja is found, then destroy it mercilessly until they doubt their life. There are many things prepared, including shurikens, kunai, detonating charms, roots, etc. Luo Chuan didn't lie down to rest until it was slightly light, and he didn't get up until the afternoon. The Hyuga clan is also making urgent mobilizations. Except for those clan members who normally go out to perform tasks, others have been secretly mobilized and lurked in the mansion. A premeditated operation was carried out in secret. By the afternoon, Qianyang had already prepared the manpower, and Luo Chuan also sent over the route map. Proceed according to this schedule and prevent any fish from slipping through the net. No problem, it's a good plan. As night fell, in the mansion of the Hyuga clan, a large number of ninjas wearing iconic costumes rushed out of the courtyard, hiding in the darkness, and headed towards the established goal. Elders, I will leave these people on the outside to you. We and the clan leader will go inside and be sure not to make too much noise. Gen's base is also located in Konoha, and is close to the Hokage Rock. There are many Anbu ninjas and Gen ninjas here. Because of Danzo's character and his style of doing things, there are always some Anbu ninjas monitoring them to prevent accidents from happening. Coincidentally, there was no Anbu ninja surveillance today, which gave the Hyuga clan an opportunity to take action. Lead the elders to rush to the outskirts of Gen's base. There are many Gen ninjas on the outskirts. Gen's base looks like a very ordinary building, but there is something special inside. There are 4 ninjas guarding the door, and a dozen ninjas scattered around the outside. The various elders dispersed under Luo Chuan's plan, waiting for orders. Superior, Luo Chuan, who was lurking behind a big tree, gave a low shout, and rushed out with Qianyang, heading straight for the door. There was no cover for the two people's actions. The ninjas at the door were a little stunned when they saw the 2 people rushing towards them. The costumes of the Hyuga clan in Konoha are easy to identify. What are these 2 Hyuga clan members doing here now? When they didn't understand why, Luo Chuan immediately cast Gentle Fist. Gentle Fist method 8 trigrams 128 palms. As soon as he came on stage, he fired his ultimate attack, and the fists and kicks all over the sky turned into afterimages, shrouding the 4 ninjas. Bang bang bang. In an instant, these 4 root ninjas, who were probably elite chunin, were beaten to the ground and died. The expressions of the ninjas hiding on the periphery changed immediately when they saw this scene. Was the base under attack? However, at this moment when they were surprised, the elders of the Hyuga clan hiding behind them took action and quickly launched an attack. Except for a few 2 or 3 who could barely avoid it, this wave of assassinations killed 7 or 8 ninjas. The remaining 3 ninjas gathered together, looked at the elders of the Hyuga clan who appeared in front of them and surrounded them, and shouted, "What are you doing? What do you want?" However, what answered them was the crazy attack of the elders, who struck without mercy. A large number of ninja tools were thrown out at the same time, leaving them no chance to fight back. After the peripheral ninjas were processed, the elders took the processing to a dark place, and Luo Chuan and Hyuga Qianyang also rushed inside. There are no lights in this building, everything is shrouded in darkness. Okay. Danzo is conducting various blood inheritance research, and it is absolutely impossible to put these things on the surface, so he should have gone underground. There must be secret rooms under this building, but there are many secret rooms under this building. There are also many root ninjas in it. Both of them had opened their Byakugan, and the ninjas lurking in the building were invisible under their eyes. They easily identified the locations of these ninjas, and even some of the mechanisms were clearly visible to them. The two of them split up and used the lurking ninjas to rush out. The ninjas in the building seemed to notice something strange. It was a little too peaceful outside. Although they were ninjas walking in the dark, everything was too quiet. If there is a situation, investigate and kill. Gentle Fist Method 8 Trigrams 64 Palms. The dark corners of the building were filled with members of the Root. These ninjas who noticed that it was too quiet outside were about to get up and investigate when a person appeared behind them. In an instant, countless palm shadows enveloped these people, launching a fatal attack from the rear. Bang bang. After several ninjas were shrouded in the shadow of the palm, their bodies were shot one after another, and the chakra on the major acupuncture points instantly stopped. Puff. Several ninjas vomited blood from their mouths. What? The several root ninjas who fell forward had expressions of disbelief on their faces. Then they rolled their eyes and looked lifeless. Their hearts were shattered under the shadow of this palm. Luo Chuan stood behind several root ninjas and smiled coldly. Gen's ninja quality is stronger than ordinary Anbu, and they have more grandmaster assassination skills. However, their so-called assassination skills have no effect under the white eyes. They have nothing to hide and are easily hit. Breaking the heart seems cruel, but it is also the best way. Solving the battle in an instant is the most important thing to do at this moment. Opened his eyes and glanced to other places. There were more root ninjas in those corners. In fact, there are not many ninjas in the Root, and they belong to Shimura Danzo's exclusive force. But now most ninjas are in this building, so there seem to be more. Together with Qian Yang, they continued to attack and kill the ninjas in this building. Elsewhere in Konoha, countless Hyuga clan ninjas moved quickly in groups of 3. The battle route given by Luo Chuan is very clear, which is to compress from the edge of Konoha to the middle, and finally compress all the root ninja into the building, thereby achieving all-round obliteration. The bloody smell of killing filled the sky above Konoha. Ordinary people could not detect the abnormality, but some ninjas were able to detect the strangeness. In the past, there were always some ninjas climbing over the rooftops of Konoha at night, either ninjas who went out or returned, or members of Anbu or Gen. However, there were far fewer Anbu ninjas tonight, and instead there were some ninjas from the Hyuga clan. This is what's weird, and some ninjas start to investigate. In Hitaki Mashuo's residence, he and Hokage had already discussed some things. When he was about to go back to his room to rest, he suddenly looked outside, his expression changed, and he suddenly jumped up to the wall. Hitaki Mosaku is a very determined person and a person who thinks about the village. Under his eyes, many Hyuga clan ninjas shuttled around every corner of Konoha, compressing from the outside to the inside. What are the Hyuga clan doing? Hitaki Mosaku didn't understand what happened, but his intuition told him that this was definitely not a simple matter, so he paid attention. After watching for a while, he seemed to find some patterns, and finally fixed his eyes on a building. That's Root. After identifying clearly where that place was, Hitaki Shigesaku's heart sank. The Hyuga clan is gradually getting closer to its roots. This made him feel a little incredible. This was not something that should happen in Konoha. The contradiction between the Hyuga clan in general has long been highlighted, and many things have happened between the two parties. Hitaki Shisho knows very well who Danzo is and what he has done. Could it be that the Hyuga clan is planning to attack Gen? Hyuga Qianyang, what are you thinking about? Thinking of the importance of Danzo and Gen, Hitaki Shigesaku did not dare to neglect and quickly rushed to a place where the battle had just ended. AJDG. After arriving, the situation at the scene made him feel bad. As expected, the Hyuga clan has indeed attacked Gen. It seems that we need to inform Lord Hokage. Although the Hyuga clan disguised the scene very well, they still could not avoid this experienced and strong man. This kind of thing has happened to many people. Some strong people in Konoha have guessed something. In the office of the Hokage building, the third Hokage was shouted hurriedly. When I came to the office, I saw several very familiar people gathered here, and I was a little confused. After these people reported the matter, third Hokage had the same look on his face and his eyes widened. Is there such a thing? What is this Hyuga Kianyang thinking about? Didn't you already agree before? Now this is suspected of sabotaging the plan. Let's go and check it out immediately. Yes, several people rushed out immediately and went straight to Jen's building. On this side, Luo Chuan and Hyuga Kianyang had already dealt with those people in the building and quickly rushed underground. The underground was different from the building. It was brightly lit. After walking through a long and narrow passage, the scene that appeared in front of Hyuga Kianyang's face suddenly changed. Is there such a thing? This guy Danzo is looking for death. The first thing you see is a huge research room. There are many researchers in this research room, and most of the research materials are human bodies, and these people are not people Kianyang knows. These are Konoha geniuses who have disappeared recently, and they actually appear here. This guy Danzo can really do anything. Kianyang whispered. No one has noticed the appearance of the two of them yet, they are hiding at the entrance of the research room. Luo Chuan nodded slowly. Danzo could do anything in order to study the limits of bleeding. In vivo research is the most basic. If those geniuses with no background are targeted by him, there will be basically no way to survive. Most of these ninjas in front of me are Konoha ninjas, but they did not receive a rich burial like other ninjas who died in the line of duty, but suffered such humiliating treatment. There are even many ninjas alive, but what is revealed in their eyes is deep despair and disappointment. Danzo is there, head of the house, you block the door and I'll kill all these guys. No problem, do it. Luo Chuan rushed out first, forming seals with his hands, white smoke rose, and more than 20 shadow clone appeared in the research room. Whoosh! A large number of shurikens were thrown out immediately, hitting the vital points of the researchers before they could react, and easily killed more than 30 researchers. Then, Luo Chuan was seen throwing out a large number of detonating symbols. Bang bang! The detonating talisman exploded quickly. More than a dozen detonating talismans caused the research room to continuously shake, and the research platform and experimental tank were destroyed. Who? At this time, Danzo reacted and shouted immediately. When he saw Luo Chuan, his eyes widened and he snorted angrily. Hyuga Luo Chuan, how dare you come here to cause trouble? How could Luo Chuan be frightened by him? Those researchers didn't have much combat power and were easily killed by his shadow clone. A consecutive attack and kill, the speed and courage displayed are admirable. Whizzing, 5 or 6 ninjas came to Danzo with the body flicker technique. The familiar attire was exactly that of Gen's ninja. Luo Chuan stopped. Those ninjas did not attack immediately when they did not receive the order, but stayed beside Danzo, watching with eagerness. As the second in command in Konoha, Danzo has immense power. He never thought that his lair would be captured by a kid. Danzo, am I not exactly who you expected me to be here? The murderous intent in Luo Chuan's eyes is self-evident. The entire pattern of Konoha will change tonight. No matter who appears, Danzo will die. What do you mean? What do you mean? Do you need to say more? Do you think I don't know about your cooperation with Hokage? It's ridiculous. Now that I have walked out of Cloud Shinobi Village, your machinations will not be hidden. Danzo's pupils shrank, but his face remained calm, but in fact his heart was already stirred up. The cooperation with Hokage does exist. At this turbulent moment in the ninja world, if people in Konoha find out about his cooperation with Hokage, it may cause some unpleasant things, and even, I had to bow to Hokage. This is something that is absolutely unacceptable. He has planned for countless years and has made countless preparations to take charge of Konoha. How can he ruin his future because of some trivial matters at this time? Kill him. With an order, the 6 ninjas rushed out immediately. The 6 ninjas with the Grandmaster's assassination skills were best at close combat. As long as they were allowed to get close, the trouble would continue. Luo Chuan knew the skills of Gen Ninja very well and was already prepared when these people took action. Chen escape split sky mirror. Dust escape mirror turn. 2 ninjutsus were used one after another, and a black space-time channel appeared in front of him, and his body was sucked into it, and then the space-time channel suddenly connected. The 6 ninjas lost their target of attack and quickly went on alert. However, at the next moment when the space-time channel was closed, Luo Chuan suddenly appeared behind the two of them. Gentle Fist Method 8 trigrams 128 palms. The 8 trigrams field was formed, and fists and feet poured down from the sky, like the Milky Way pouring down from the 9 heavens. Bang bang. The two ninjas were hit by this attack unprepared. They immediately vomited blood, their bodies were dented, and their chakra was sealed. 2 ninjas were killed instantly with just one move. The remaining 4 people didn't feel anything about it. They rushed towards him at the first moment and took out the sword from behind. In an instant, silver light flashed, and a powerful slash flew out along with the chakra. Whoosh! The slash approached. Luo Chuan used body flicker technique to avoid the slash, and suddenly his hands showed a triangular posture. Chen escape return. The 4 ninjas had just gathered together, and Luo Chuan avoided their attacks. They quickly locked the target, but they saw the transparent barrier in Luo Chuan's hand, and they didn't understand why. Attack again. The barrier between Luo Chuan's hands flew out when they rushed over, instantly covering the 4 people. Without any accident, these 4 people were trapped by the barrier, and their bodies rapidly decomposed at a speed visible to the naked eye, leaving them struggling inside. But this struggle was in vain. In just a few seconds, these people were decomposed directly. This took only about a minute. This was a fast battle. 6 elite ninjas were killed before they could even use their ninjutsu. Danzo was dumbfounded, and even Qian Yang was dumbfounded. How could they imagine that Luo Chuan would defeat 6 ninjas so easily? How could they imagine that Luo Chuan was like a god descending, wiping out enemies in his hands? Danzo, you can live if you do evil by God, but you can't live if you do evil on your own. This is a famous saying for you. Your biggest mistake was not to attack people in the same village, but to attack me in the Hyuga clan. After taking out the 6 ninjas, Luo Chuan looked natural and relaxed, not paying any attention to Danzo, whose power had reached the quasi-shadow realm in front of him. A mere quasi-shadow is just a joke in front of him. If he is not a cage-level expert, it will be difficult for him to display his true power. Danzo's face darkened, he felt as sick as if he had eaten maggots. Being lectured like this by a kid, how could his arrogant heart be calm and submissive? If he didn't destroy the kid in front of him, he could not hide the anger and resentment in his heart. It has been 2 years since I started planning. 2 years ago, every attempt was unsuccessful. Even after cooperating with Hokage, the plan still failed. And because of this, Hokage was extremely resentful of him, and the cooperation naturally collapsed. Now he was killed by this kid at the base camp, killed countless talents he had trained, and also saw the situation in the research room. In this case, someone must die today. Hyuga Luo Chuan, you will regret your foolish behavior today. You can only repent in hell. After Danzo finished speaking slowly, his expression returned to calm. He was neither happy nor sad, and it was difficult to understand his heart. Wind-style vacuum sphere fan. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.